Nova Scotia's EMO asked to use the hall as a registration centre for residents of Portapique who had fled their homes. An RCMP officer was posted here in a cruiser. By this time, police were on the hunt for the shooter, who they knew was impersonating a police officer. At 10:30 a.m., 2 RCMP officers fired multiple shots outside the hall. Sources have told CTV News the officers thought they were firing at the suspect when it was in fact a fellow Mountie.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Why don't you get yourself some turned-down collars, Poirot? They're much more the thing, you know.
The thing, Hastings? Do you think Poirot concerns himself with mere thingness?
No, I see that.
The turned-down collar is the first symptom of decay of the grey cells.
I just think if people keep pushing, I can't, first of all, thank enough all of the hard work. There's 3 fellow YouTubers who are working very, very hard with me on this one. Rage in the Cage, Steve LTT, and Just My Stupid Opinion. Just plugging them, sorry. But they are fantastic guys, really been busting their humps here. And, stepping up to the plate, because there's a certain amount of risk saying certain things. And also, likewise, all of the people who are volunteering information and time, which, like I said, over on the Discord or sending me anonymously information, it is fantastic.
Oh my, what has happened here? Good morning, good afternoon to those of you down east. Sounds like, well, we've got some people going down. Who's in here today? Good news. Kendall, Dave, Grinder. I just sent you an email. If you don't mind checking that, I'd appreciate it. Mark, Glenn B, Barry, Blue Nose. I haven't seen you in a bit. Barry. All right. I didn't even get a coffee. Steve's also on the line here. I think we'll
Hi,
everyone. Is that coming through? Oh, Adrian's here. Maybe we should see if we can get him in there.
I agree.
Now,
He'd be very interested.
I'm trying to think. Oh dear's here, aka Ms. K. Adrian, I'm going to somehow send you an invite here. Give me one moment, please.
It's going to be like magic. It'll just appear.
Okay. And we'll email Adrian. And if he can join us, we'll also have Tara joining us at some point here. Adrian. I hope that goes through. Pretty exciting stuff.
As ECC would say, what news?
What news? Oh, I got the notification from Frank Magazine. I always throw those in the trash. Frank is not, here we go. Okay, I sent it, there we go. You had to have gotten it now, Adrian. Hopefully you can join. If not, well, anyway.
Sit back and buckle up.
Oh, no. What's happened here? Oh, okay. My computer is getting pissy. Hopefully Frank doesn't get angry for the article. All right, so let's read through this together. I have not read it yet. I'm saving all my surprises as normal for the show. Breaking news. RCMP charge mass shooters common law wife Beth. Oh, no. Sorry, it's not Beth. Steve was reminding me it's not Beth.
Now we're going to switch it.
He's like, oh, they're not going to call her Beth anymore. It's hitting the regular news now. Lisa has taken a deal. Okay, Ken says, Kendall. There's 3 of them, though. So we're going to get some, and I've got some news on that end possibly too. RCMP have charged Lisa Banfield, Lisa, not Beth, Gabriel Wortman's common law wife, and 2 others for providing him with ammunition he used on April 18 and 19. Ammunition is what they're saying. Okay. Charged are Lisa Diane Banfield, 52, of Dartmouth, James Blair Banfield, 64, of Sackville, and Brian Brewster, 60, of Sackville. According to leaked press release, they are charged under Section 101 of the Criminal Code. Between the 17th day of March, oh, that's St. Patrick's Day, and 18th of April, unlawfully transferred ammunition, specifically .223 caliber Remington cartridges and 40 Smith & Wesson cartridges, according to the release. Oh, that doesn't match the guns.
No.
Superintendent Darren Campbell is quoted as saying, quote, based on the investigation to date in which those charged cooperated, these individuals had no prior knowledge of the gunman's actions April 18 and 19. Sorry if I stop. I'm periodically looking over to see if Adrian has joined us, or Tara. Hello, Will. How's it going? Lenore Zan. Yes, this is going to do some major damage. Superintendent, to quote, to ensure a fair trial, ellipsis, and with the public inquiry now ongoing. Oh, yes, not most appropriate and unbiased opportunity to provide any additional information is to do so with our cooperation with the inquiry. So, doesn't sound like, of course, the RCMP, quote, will respectfully refrain from further commenting on these matters outside of the inquiry.
That's exactly what I was thinking, too, is wonder what's going to be shut down now.
Shut it down! But these guns don't match. 223 and Smith & Wesson, what were the guns used? Do we have that somewhere here?
I was going to say possibly the 223 might match, but I don't even think that does.
And I think it'd be worthy of trying to go into, see, oh, yes, Google's got a nice history of my stuff. No porn in there, as one can notice. No porn.
Don't type the letter Y into my search.
No? What do you get? YouPorn or something? Is that the one you like?
Yeah, it works fairly well.
Let's see. What would it be called? Law Enforcement Carbine, right? Nova Scotia shooting. Okay. Among the legally obtained weapons. Doc show. I have issues with these documents, by the way. I think they're just conveniently thrown out there because you don't have any calibers thrown in here. And there's no, to the Prime Minister, balls on that. He's going to get the full tracing, sourcing of a weapon, the serial numbers. He's going to get everything. They don't hold back. So he had a Glock GmbH semi-automatic pistol. What's the caliber on that?
9mm?
Let's see here. It's a limited run pistol. 9mm. Okay, so that doesn't really match up, does it? Mind you, it's not specifying again. Ruger P89 semi-automatic pistol. Will they fully name her? Yes. We don't. No more Beth. No more Beth. No more feminist narrative. Gone.
Yeah. Smash that narrative.
Smash it.
Onto a new narrative.
Yeah. This is going to be kind of poor.
Or is this going to draw out all the feminists to bash the RCMP?
Oh, bash. Oh, here's Adrian. All right. Morning.
Good morning. Just sitting over here enjoying my time, and then I see you come live.
Well,
and I gotta say, I'm appalled by the anti-female narrative you guys have been pushing these last few minutes. How terrible.
Yes, it's horrible to have all these misogynists in here, like Lynn. You know, Lynn's a misogynist, and
That's
Kendall's
true.
a misogynist.
I don't know if you know this, but every single victim was female. Even the male ones were really transgender women.
Trannies. Okay, we have trannies. Is he, she, or is she, him, or what do they call them?
I have no idea these days. I stopped caring several years ago.
I really need to watch it anyways, but that's not politically correct. This is not news. You got to be breaking news. Breaking news. Did we lose Steve?
Did Steve die? Oh, cool. Steve's not dead.
He's muting himself.
I don't want you to hear what I'm eating for breakfast. You might judge me.
It might judge you. So we had the Glock. See, they didn't specify the chambered through .40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridge. What is she passing out here? Apparently there's some Facebook shots out there of her somewhere floating around. Those will be interesting to see. I don't know if that's something I should be talking about at this point. I never know what the hell I'm supposed to say versus not. What's your reaction to this, Steve?
I think I feel like it's something that's just going to kind of tie up a lot of people and throw a lot of people looking at certain things to kind of forget about the fact that the RCMP have really shit the bed with this entire thing, and nothing they've said has been accurate. I just feel like it's like another little piece that they've kind of thrown out there as a showpiece to get everybody looking at the flashing lights instead of looking at all the other shit that happened.
Are those flashing red and blue lights or from mock police cruisers? What's going on?
Maybe they're like flashing lights, like little tassel kind of lights.
What about you, Adrian? What's your say on this?
Well, first thing was when you started up talking about Lisa Banfield being charged, I thought all I could think of was during the press conference early on when Leather said that wouldn't comment on whether Lisa Banfield was in protective custody. So that was kind of interesting. And then just everything that they're putting out with this ammunition, how it doesn't line up with the guns that he's using. I think they're trying to play up on the ignorance of Canadians when it comes to firearms and the ammunition use, because most people, even myself included, are not very knowledgeable when it comes to this sort of thing. So I think they feel that they can put out these details and then most people won't even clue in. They won't put two and two together that the ammunition doesn't line up with the weapons that were used.
Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out what kind of weapon the RCMP, the Glock does match the ammunition, .40 caliber. It's a .223. I don't know what that's going in. Does anybody have any ideas?
Originally, they did say he had a long rifle.
Well, that's the quote. I love how they use that. The quote, Colt law enforcement carbine. You see, this is a bunch of BS too. Look at this, Colt law enforcement carbine. They keep saying it, quotes in quotation marks, so they don't have to say what it is, right? But I think it's an RCMP issue weapon that he's got his hands on, which is something I think we've all been saying for, Jesus. I was asking how long somebody who's been following the stuff, and they said it was a long time ago we started talking about that.
So you were saying that it was you were looking for the RCMP carbines, right?
Yes.
I'm not 100%, but I think that weren't they using the C7 carbine, which is, I know that that's one that the Canadian military uses, but give me a second. I'll see if I can.
Yeah, you're really good at driving. I'm not so good at that.
Let's see.
I'm kind of a drunk driver. 64 people joining us.
Okay. Found something here. From Globe and Mail, it's backdated to 2011. It says the RCMP will spend at least $1 million to add more high-powered guns to its arsenal. The C8 Patrol Carbine, a version of a rifle similar to the M16, is now used by the Army and Police tactical squads, including the RCMP's Emergency Response Team. Let's see here. Second.
Oh. They're saying that Wortman bullied her to get the ammo now.
Of course. Poor her. She's just a poor innocent victim, isn't she?
I hope those Facebook photos come out. I really do. She liked her guns too.
What about this for a possibility? Maybe she's more heavily involved than the RCMP is saying, like even more than this. And this is the out that they're providing for her.
The out. Yeah, I mean, this is really honestly a small charge to the three of these people. I'd like to look into these other two individuals as well. James, and that's her brother. I don't know who this Brian Brewster is. Oh, wait a second. That's her brother-in-law, I think. Brewster. Let me just check here. The Lisa file. I actually renamed it the Beth file. Okay, of course I don't have it open.
Let's see.
I just feel like someone who's been with him that long.
Thank you for joining us, Char. It's great to see you. I am a greasy ginger, which is also a 223-56. Okay, so similar ammo. Yep, you can use the same ammo. Greasy ginger is saying.
You can? Okay.
I have a feeling Greasy Ginger is somebody else's new profile. Is that possible? There's only one person I know who talks about being a ginger.
Let's see.
Bullied her into it. Come on. If they honestly go with that, we're really stuck. Yeah, she's in way deeper. Tara, are you going to join us?
She should almost be considered an accomplice, in my opinion. But
I don't know. She's messaged me, but let's see here. Now my phone is blowing up, of course.
It would be right now, eh?
Well, the one day, I don't ever look at those Frank notifications. I'm just throwing them in the trash. I'm like, so apparently the RCMP are going to make a big official announcement tonight. Sorry about spoiling the fun. I'm sure it'll be really exciting with Campbell and Derp. Derp, not going to answer any questions. You're in the back room. Oh, there you are. Okay, no. Now we've got two of you. What's going on? Oh, there we go.
Hello, hello.
I think.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Did you get my package?
Let me check the mail. It's been a while since I've checked it. Ever since they implemented those community mailboxes, I go there maybe once a month.
Got it.
But I will check it and I will get back to you. How you been?
I'm here. Shit is all fucked up for everyone, I think, right now. How about you?
Oh, just trying to survive. One day at a time. I think that's everyone's attitude this year.
Are you right in the city?
Yeah, I'm in Ottawa. Like right in there.
Oh, that sucks.
Just a little outside the downtown core, yeah. There are plans
I can
for the
send
future
you
to
some
get out.
real estate I can send you some real estate listings for Nova Scotia. You probably sell your house and buy one here, not even have a mortgage.
Probably. I know that I've checked out some places. I've checked out some places outside of the province and stuff, and yeah, you can actually find some decently sized and decently priced houses down in the East Coast.
Oh yeah, you can. You sure can.
Is the audio still a problem? Because I think you might get some echo there, Tara. I don't know.
Me? I don't have any echo, but I don't know if I'm echoing to other folks.
It would be echoing to other folks, I believe.
Okay, so what do I do about that?
Headphones.
Hang on.
Echo of headphones.
Amy?
We'll just mute her for now.
Sounds
Common
good.
law spouse of Nova Scotia mass shooter charged with giving him ammunition because he was bullied, don't you know? Lisa Diane Banfield, 52, one of three people facing charges. Common law spouse, the man killing 22 people responsible. We haven't determined that yet because they're still investigating, and I believe the inquiry hasn't been finished. So has been charged with providing the gunman with ammunition during the rampage. Lisa Diane Banfield, 52, of Dartmouth, is alleged to have transferred .223 caliber Remington cartridge and 40 Smith & Wesson cartridges between March 17th, April 18th. James Blair Banfield, 64, of Sackville, and Brian Brewster. I'm pretty sure Brewster is I still haven't checked. I will look into that in just a moment. Of Sackville, also facing a similar charge. RCMP would not comment on the relationship. I believe these are her brother and brother-in-law, but I will check. Does anybody know in there? Brewster would be the brother-in-law. Okay, yeah. That's, I forget the sister's name. In a release, the force said the three had, quote, no prior knowledge of the gunman's actions. Does somebody have a link? Kendall said, I think she sent it somewhere. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Did you get the headphones yet?
Hang on. I think so. Here we go.
He torched his own garage. 3 other homes being shot dead. So let's see here. I believe somebody.
How's that?
It's majorly staticky. Oh, okay.
That's some background noise there, yeah.
All right.
Me?
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. You're better now. You're good.
Okay.
Just for like a moment, we were getting some background.
Okay. Well, these are pretty high freaking tech. My roommate is one of those people who knows about these things.
I don't know why Battis isn't writing this story. Battis went to school with him. CTV Atlantic, head of CTV Atlantic. Why isn't Battis in here? He should be writing the article. I mean, he knew him, didn't he? 3 people charged with providing ammunition to gunmen responsible for Nova Scotia RCMP. If somebody has a link to the RCMP press release, that would be great. I'll read that out and put it up. There's 3 people have been charged with allegedly providing ammunition. Nova Scotia man responsible, which is yet to be determined in its totality, for Canada's worst mass murder. That's jumping to conclusions, I think. Obviously, the whole Beth-Lisa fiasco was jumping to conclusions. Unlawfully transferring ammunition, specifically 223 caliber, 40 caliber. Let's see if there's anything here. It's unfortunate that's on St. Patrick's Day. Go to hell with that one. The individuals cooperated with their investigation, had no prior knowledge of the gunman's actions. That would be why she was questioned under caution. Charges come nearly 8 months after a gunman disguised as a Mountie, wearing real Mountie uniform and badge. Kendall, do you mind posting that in the chat? Is that okay? In YouTube, because I can't open that up. The charges are nearly 8 months. Wortman claimed the lives of 22 people. 23. Sorry, let's get this right, press.
Yeah, why can't they get that right?
I know.
I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second. Say hi, Tara, and bye. I got to go. I got to go into work, but I'll be listening. I'll be in the chat.
Hey, Steve, you are working nonstop. Honestly, you must be a clone or something, because do you even sleep?
Oh, well, he hung up on.
Oh. Well, whatever then. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Properly received.
Right? Fuck off. You can go fuck off too. Honestly, I don't think that guy sleeps any more than you do, Seamus.
While I sleep,
he can't.
Strange hours. Sorry?
I've never known you to sleep. I said, I don't think Steve can even sleep. He's a dad. He does this. He does his other channel. I don't know. Being a dad alone is like enough to keep you from sleeping.
Is that on the Nova Scotia page? All this text mumbo jumbo.
I do want to say hi to everyone. I never know what to say here, but thank you so much for still being a part of all this stuff, and all you guys spend so much time working on this. It's amazing to me that we don't have more information at this point, but the fact that you're still here is amazing.
Well, that's because what friends do, isn't it?
Well, friends don't do things like this, typically. They don't. That's why there's so few people out there to actually be friends with, because they don't reciprocate for the most part. But look at all these people who we don't even know who are doing this. So it just shows you that, like you always say, there are lots of good people out there.
Well, we need to start just being good to one another, get back to our roots as people. That's really important. I also wanted to share something else that somebody kindly passed along to me, which I found to be very disturbing. Sorry, because I want to get your feel as, obviously, as a family member. This is huge. But I think I'll throw this other piece in here because here we go. Downloads. Thank you. Everybody sends such great information. All right, so let's see. Now, how do I get over there? Boom. This I found to be highly disturbing. This is a moratorium from the RCMP, which somebody passed along very kindly. So a big thank you. Moratorium on the destruction of information involving Gabriel Workman pertaining to the investigation of the mass shooting Nova Scotia on April 18th and 19th. Published on the 10th, October 15. What are they doing in the interim? They've been destroying evidence? Is this what's been going on over here? Because this is very specific. It goes through all of the different things, all of the files. It's 4 pages long. So if the RCMP has, in fact, been sitting around destroying evidence, we're really in a pickle. Tara, let's get your read on something.
Do you want my honest opinion? What do you mean by if? Never have I known a crime scene like his place to be destroyed inside a day on what they can constantly call an ongoing investigation. How can it be ongoing when you've already destroyed evidence? You have destroyed evidence preventing. Like, at this point, there's no if the RCMP are hiding and covering shit up. It's what are they hiding and covering up? And you know that I have some more opinions that I don't necessarily should share here, but no, clearly they are covering shit up. I'd like to know the individuals who are actually there that night. I'd like to see if any of them have any kind of balls at all to talk about what happened that night, what happened leading up to that night. You have to be a complete and fucking moron to not know that there were at least, at the very minimum amount, 2 at least people on the ground doing shit. And that is not counting all the people there would need to be in order to pull this shit off. Honestly, anyone, pick up a water gun, pick up a paintball gun, go shooting people for the next 13 hours and see how fast you get fucking pulled over. I was herded out of the mall by security guards in like 5 minutes for not wearing a mask. Had I been shooting people, burning houses down, I mean, take your vehicle and go run the route that he took. You can't run that route in the time they've given us. Never mind kill people, run back and forth. You know, how is the timeline? Sorry, I get my details mixed up, but there's a timeline showing supposedly that there was something else happening way up the road at the same time as other people were getting killed. So how does that happen? How does any of it happen? They say they don't have any idea who it was until Lisa gives over her phone at 6:30 in the morning. But even the mainstream article, was it Global, whoever it was, said that there was at least 5 911 calls between 10:01 and 10:30. So what the actual fuck? Why are you lying to us? They are lying. Like, let's call a fucking spade what a fucking spade is. The cops are lying. The investigators are lying. The media is lying. And there are other people lying who are very close to this, who I would assume if I were to say they were lying, I would be, ostracized even further than I am. But there's a lot of people, I would suggest, who are a lot closer to this, who are hiding shit. Right? I have to wonder why certain people aren't trying harder to find out what happened. Why are people who should be digging into this trying to get away from it? Why are people who should be looking into this night and day and asking for help and taking all the help they can get not reaching out to you, Seamus? Or when you reach out to them, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to do anything. Why? That doesn't make sense. You know what? I've been told all kinds of things that Aaron could have been into. And I know that, I love my brother more than you can ever imagine, but he wasn't a fucking saint. He certainly wasn't. He was into some shit. And I don't believe for a minute that he was killed randomly for no fucking reason. I think there was something he might have been into. And you know what? It doesn't matter what he was into. It doesn't stop him from being my brother. It doesn't stop me from loving him. It doesn't stop me from wanting to find out who the fuck did this. And eventually, if people don't start asking more questions, people who are close to this, people who actually know, I'm going to go start knocking on fucking doors. And I don't give a shit. If I end up finding out whatever far-fetched tinfoil hat situation it is, because it doesn't matter what scenario that you look at. If you look at the cops are covering it up, the other groups of people are covering it up, they got abducted by aliens, the whole thing never happened. It doesn't matter what possible scenario you look at, they're all fucking tinfoil hat. The thing about tinfoil hat is that, sadly, a lot of it is real. Unless you can see past the surface mainstream media bullshit indoctrination that you've been fed your whole life and dig under the surface to realize the cops are not here to protect you. They are here to enforce the law, and that's two very different things. Very different. Not only that, but come on, you guys. There are pieces of shit in every organization, right? 20 years ago, customer service was a thing. Now it's not. You take those younger generation of people and put them in any position. Cops, RCMP, mafia, lawyer, doctor, it doesn't matter. They come with this fucking millennial sense of entitlement where they've done nothing to earn their position, but they feel like they're entitled to it anyway. You have the same mentality of asshole, whether you're looking at military, cops, bikers, customer service, doctors. It doesn't matter what group of people, what job these people have. The younger generation of people seem to be fucking assholes who think they're entitled to shit and they haven't done anything to earn it. So look at it from that mentality too, right? They get pissed off and offended because you use the wrong terminology. They don't like the way you look at them, so fuck you. I'm way off on a tangent here, but if you can't see that there's a higher level of shit going on here than just some fucking crazy dude who had too much to drink, I don't know. Come on. You got to be fucking stupid. If you're really that stupid, I don't even want to talk to you because I'm going to lose brain cells just talking to you. Okay, let's get on the same level here. There's a massive cover-up. Let's find out who's doing it.
Steph asks, so could you give a little bit of background, because there'll be people in here who aren't familiar with who you are in the story.
Yeah, Aaron was my brother. Do you want the whole story? Like
Yes.
The
like they
background of... Oh, okay. So Aaron and I have the same birth mother. He was older than me, and she put him up for adoption when he was born. And I met him when I was 16, and he was 19. And as soon as we met, we were inseparable. Like, he came and lived with us in Ontario. I was supposed to be living there on the property with him. I wasn't, obviously. But yeah, we were very, very close, and he was my brother.
Yeah, so this hit really close to home for all of us, because there's a big, huge team of people that have been working hard on this. Adrian's been working really hard. Just my stupid opinion.
Fuck yeah, you guys, I don't know how you do it.
Steve and Kage has been working really, really hard. And of course, we have a massive team over in the Discord. Huge group of people who have been working tirelessly. I'm covering all kinds of great information. So, you know, I can't even single anybody out because there's so many people, which is really great to see. I mean, They rallied forward and really stepped up to the plate, which is really
I can't believe how many people came out of the woodwork who we never even met before and are giving so much time and digging and in the background. There's some people that we don't see, but they're doing a shitload of work in the background. I agree with Blinko there. If Lisa was really a victim, shouldn't she be at least communicating with the victims' families, at least behind the scenes? Yeah, agreed 100%. I don't think she was a victim. I don't believe that she would be. How is it that Gabriel Wortman's able to get his own police car and weapons and so on and so forth, but he had to force her to give him ammunition? Come on, really?
Well, at the same time, why would the RCMP go to such an extent to protect Lisa Banfield when the rest of the families, they haven't provided nearly the same amount of nearly the same amount of protection, and nearly the same amount of care. In fact, it's been kind of clear that they've been throwing the rest of the victims, the families and all that to the side. But yet with Lisa Banfield, she was the one that never was seen in public, the one that was never ever spoken to. And again, the RCMP wouldn't comment on it, but it was quite clear that she was in witness protection behind the scenes. So why go to such extent for someone like that, for one individual person, when you're not willing to do it to everyone else? I mean, even if she was a victim, she was not someone who was killed or even injured really in this attack, when there were people who lost, well, like you, who lost their whole family, people who lost husbands and wives. And in the case of, I'm blanking on her name, the one nurse, she was pregnant at the same time. Yet there's been none of the same care put in by the RCMP when it comes to the rest of the victims.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And how do you take Lisa out of there and not Leon? If it's dangerous and you need to get Lisa out of there, why'd you leave Leon? How'd you take the dog? I love dogs. But why would you take a dog and not people? Why are some people shot to death and other people are left sleeping? That doesn't make any sense.
Why are two young kids left sitting alone in their basement when their parents were just murdered for hours?
Right, and that article says that Lisa McCauley went outside, if I'm correct, and those two kids from the other house went over there, and Lisa's kids let them in. Right, if I remember correctly from the article, why were they out walking? Why are these children?
We've got a variety of stories coming out on that end, but what is clear, if you can, decipher the propaganda BS that the mainstream media is putting forward, is that there were 911 calls coming through, and people were, there's no nice way to say it, but they were being killed on the phone. They were literally being killed on the phone, and they knew that right away. Yet they took an hour and a half before they even registered that it was a weapons complaint. We had a cat rolling around on the ground, as that's what the RCMP were telling people. And they didn't even inform people that there was a mass shooting until the next morning, at which point the cat was already out of the bag because he's running around Nova Scotia. And now they're like, oh, how do we cover up for this?
Yeah. And that's just it. They spent a lot of time covering this up, a lot of effort covering it up. And I mean, I've been told things by police that are straight up not true. Straight up not true. Why are you lying?
This is really tough. I just brought up,
and I hate lying. I fucking hate liars. You know what? I can deal with anything if it's the truth. You start fucking lying to me, and I'm going to get mad. And I wish I was one of those people who would just sit down and put it out of my mind, but I can't. I have to go to your face and call you on your shit because I fucking hate lying people.
Well, and they knew
it's fucking disrespectful.
They knew that she was lying. They knew that. I believe that the RCMP lie detector fellow, perhaps there's somebody in here who remembers his name. I think it begins with a V, was in questioning her. the second round of questioning, and the first round she was questioned both times. Actually, sorry, she was questioned that we're aware of. She was questioned under warrant, under caution, which means she was read her rights. They knew she was a suspect right when they picked her up.
Right? Exactly. And thank you so much, you guys. I'm reading the comments on the side here, and I'm so grateful that you're all here and so supportive, and it's amazing. It's overwhelming. Thank you so much. God bless all of you guys and all of us. We need it so much right now.
Well, you know,
But I mean, and really, like, they cleared out her Facebook account and Gabriel Wortman's Facebook account, but everybody else, people who we've found that are connected to this, that publicly they don't have connections, why are they not cleared out? And there's a lot of weird connections, isn't there? So and so is connected to this person by that person and this person, and you're just like, With that said, I have found while doing research that I have mutual friends of some weird people that I'm like, oh, that's weird, because Nova Scotia really is a small place. And there's a lot of people where, like, I'm friends with somebody from way up in the valley, and I find it's a mutual friend from somebody way over there. And I'm just like, holy shit, how does that even happen?
Yes, there's a lot of people. I don't know, you know, if it's, I can't figure that out, but I've asked around. I'm not from down there, but I understand old families and I understand small town mentality, and there's way too many connections in some of these cases that just doesn't make a lot of sense. No. I brought up the criminal code. Sorry, just to jump in before I forget here on this one. Criminal Code 101. Every person commits an offense who transfers a firearm, prohibited weapon, restricted weapon, prohibited device, any ammunition or prohibited ammunition to any person otherwise than under the authority of the Firearms Act or any act of Parliament, any regulations. Now, I just wanted to see, okay, so it's maximum is a 5-year jail sentence, or it can also be moved over to a summary conviction, thereby meaning you get nothing, basically.
Imagine that. And that's exactly right. Why are there 3 people transferring ammunition? Why are 3 people being charged with the same thing? Come on, you guys. Come on.
In the background, I'm aware of, a little bit more going on. And those people aren't being charged. What the hell is going on here? Why are they wiping, in your opinion, why are they wiping people off the internet? Like literally wiping.
Yeah. People are gone. Weird people are gone. Or
I just think it's them cutting off the threads. You know, it'd be one of these that you pull on, the whole tapestry unravels, and I think this is exactly the point behind it. They're cutting it off because this is the areas they don't want you to look. Something like taking down Facebook pages have become very common practice when it comes to social media these days. When it involves mass shooters, and but I've noticed that it only seems to be on certain mass shootings, and I think that usually has to do when there's something more going on behind the scenes, and it's requested by whoever that might be. Maybe it's the FBI in the States, maybe it's the RCMP here. But I think this is the whole reason that they're actually trying to shred evidence and eliminate people completely off the internet, because you got people that are looking into this situation. And if it's something that RCMP wants covered up, then that's exactly where they don't want you to look, or at least not have the information. It's fine to sit there and speculate, but if you can pull something definitive up, that's where it really becomes a problem for them. So that's why they're doing all this.
Yeah, and you see, this moratorium came in not only back in October. So we had between the time frame, what kind of police force destroys evidence? Like
to the point that someone has to send a moratorium to get them to stop.
In October. And this was only after, this is a week, October 15th, which is a week after Pineo apparently retained at least publicly, Martin and Associates, the investigators. So they must have, I don't know what happened, if there was a big, huge pause that they put on before they put in applied to have this moratorium put on between April and October. Like, that would be one of the first things I'd put in. Don't destroy evidence. The RCMP is notorious for destroying evidence. Picton, Bing.
Oh, yeah, the Picton thing was brutal. I lived right there when that was going on.
And there was a case I went through a long time ago, and I know the person who will watch this for sure will be screaming at me, but because they know they've been an instrumental part from the RCMP's perspective in giving me information and stuff like that. The thumb drives, they have secret drives that they hide their stuff and have come out. They move all this information on whatever cases they want just into the secret drive, and nobody can get them on ATIP requests.
Wow. How is that possible? How are they allowed to even do this?
I think really it's just the fact that there's no one to stop them. I mean, if the RCMP decides to destroy evidence, what real legal authority is there to stop them from doing it or to charge them from doing it? It would really only be if there's a whistleblower inside who's willing to speak out, and then there would have to be a whole internal investigation, and that's not going to end up happening. I think as much as we like to talk about cops being tightly knit and sealed, I think it's actually worse in the RCMP. There is where you'll find that nobody's going to say a word.
Yeah, because at least the independent or individual town police are just town police, but the RCMP is all intertwined across the country, and they all move around. If you do something bad in one place, we'll send you somewhere else. And don't worry, we'll give you a promotion and we'll move you to a different location.
And even
that seems to be their punishment.
One example I like to look, I've noticed over the last little bit, is that even down in the States, whenever you hear about law enforcement that's saying they're not going to enforce a law, it's never LAPD, NYPD, FBI, any of that. It's always a sheriff's department, which is a small, like, if I understand how it works, it's a more smaller knit community sort of police force, I think. But it's always sort of, that's how it goes. And it's the same sort of thing. You're never going to have a big police force in Canada that's willing to actually go against anything. It's not going to be here in Ontario, it's the OPP for the provincial police. It's not going to be the RCMP, but it's just going to be, small towns and their little tight-knit community police force that are more likely to do something like that. But even those are starting to disappear these days, and they're being taken over by, whether that's the RCMP or even more local police forces, like city police force, that are starting to take those over.
I wish I could find it, and if I do, I'll put the link down below of an interview that Bob Paulson did. And I'll tell you, frankly, Bob Paulson, the former commissioner of the RCMP, who is bad news, seriously bad news brown, and he's describing in the United States the power of the RCMP, and it is unbelievable what these people are capable of. This is a Five Eyes institution. No kidding. I mean, that's the whole thing to do with Ortiz, right? And why he's getting charged, and the disclosure of, I guess we lost Tara there, the disclosure of Five Eyes intelligence, the selling of Five Eyes intelligence.
I don't know what happened.
They try to shut you down.
Shut it down.
It happens. It happens all the time, online, in public, it doesn't matter.
So they go through, Bob Paulson describes it. Of course, he's bragging. He's also bragging about how he got hired, even though he's essentially what would be deemed almost a criminal. He got booted out of the Air Force for repeatedly violating, he was in the armed forces, the Air Force, repeatedly violating stuff in there, major misconducts, and they kicked him out. He went into his RCMP interview, lied in the interview, and was caught lying, and they still hired him. And he said, what I did in the military would be tantamount to criminal convictions in the civil society. And they hired him.
That's right.
And he became the commissioner, the head, and of course he appoints all of his friends, and it ties out to much, much bigger stories. His new wife, funnily enough, is tied to do with stuff to do with the pipeline and how she fixed it. These stories are big, and then you get into the whole business of Adrian is very familiar with Project Wide Awake, which is outrageous, the amount of data that they're harvesting on every single person in the chat here, all of us. Like harvesting everything from top to bottom. You do anything that's connected to the internet, TV, whatever, GPS, everything, it's all being harvested by the RCMP. It's not criminals that they're going after, it's everybody and all of their information.
It's everybody else. Stan was just was it Stan? Yeah, talking about Carla Homolka. She actually ended up getting out of jail, and she had she was not undercover, witness protection, and then she started volunteering at an elementary school. How does that happen?
Good.
Yeah, right? Carla Homolka volunteering at a fucking school. Can you imagine?
The
way that our system is
popular, but we should seriously bring back the death penalty.
Fucking right we should. If it's unpopular to punish people for committing crimes, I don't know what to tell you. If you're one of these fucking soft ass people who thinks that, everyone should just be in the peace and circle of love after they commit these crimes, fuck off. The death penalty is a great option. It's deterrent. I actually think we should bring back public hanging. Right? You do something wrong, you deserve to be murdered, do it in public so that other people can realize they don't want this. Remember, it was within my lifetime, I was old enough to remember it. There was a judge in the US, some kid had stolen some shit from somewhere. I don't know if you guys might remember this. And the judge made him wear a sandwich board and walk up and down in front of the store that said, I stole from this store, I'm a thief. That is a fucking deterrent. Yeah, fucking right.
That was actually it. The guy even said afterwards, he says that was the worst thing he had to do. He would have preferred to go to prison. He says that alone would make him never steal again. No, you're absolutely right. Public shaming is actually proven to be a very effective way to get as a deterrent for people from doing something. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, and you can bring back.
There's no reason for it.
To boot. Hell, they used to have the lash here in Canada. My grandfather remembers that. And he was a judge, and he was like, Jesus Christ, I wish they had this back. I would really like to hand this out on certain people because they just keep coming in. Fine, give them a cat of nine tails. Let's see if you want to continue this nonsense.
And I have no sympathy for these folks who are like, I had a hard life. I had this. You know what? When you're 15, that works. When you hit adult, you are your problem. And I don't want to spend my tax dollars dealing with you in and out of fucking jail and robbing people and shit. One bullet. You touch a kid, one bullet. You murder somebody, one bullet. There's certain crimes out there you just shouldn't get a second chance for. Right? You know what? Heat of the moment, passion. I walk in on you sleeping with my husband. I shoot you. That's a different thing. But I plot to go out and shoot people because drug war, there's this. No, you're dead. You're done. And if you're a cop and you get caught doing that, even worse. General population in jail. You're a pedophile, general population in jail. No protection. Where was the protection from your victims from you? You took away their protection. Now you should be without any protection at all. And I don't care if you die. I don't. You're in jail. You're there for a reason. Fend for your fucking self.
I don't advocate violence at all. And that's not what I'm saying. I advocate the rule of law. And if you've been convicted of something, likewise, I don't know if you guys have this, and this is totally off topic, and we should try and stay on topic. But here in Alberta, if you want to challenge one of these Kovu tickets, it's going to cost you $100,000. They're going to give you a fine if you go to court. This is what kind of court system do we have? You can't appeal something?
Yeah. Well, even I know it's the same thing with this Kovu nonsense, but they had some kind of a protest, and people were standing outside of a coffee shop because they weren't allowed to get served. And the police were called, and they were explaining to the non-mask wearers how in their heads the people wearing masks are afraid, and so so on and so forth, and you can't just go in there and get served and blah blah blah. And the guy said, okay, so what can I do? Well, you could go get a lawyer, provided you can find one, because I got herded out of the shopping mall with my kid and my roommate, and I've called 3 or 4 different human rights lawyers, and no one will get back to me except for this lady in Ontario who said she's not qualified to practice here, but she sent me a few links, and I connected with 3 or 4 different lawyers, and they all said conflict of interest, which I actually think is just an excuse to not help me. So I haven't been able to get any human rights lawyers to even look at it. And then the police said, provided that you have the money to pay for this lawyer, then they could, fight against your human rights violation. So who can do that? So and then they said to the people there, this is a civil matter. We can't do anything about it. Then why the fuck did you show up to answer the call? If it's a civil matter,
they could have done that.
Right, they show up for no mask. There's a shit ton of them enforcing the no mask regulation. Where the fuck were you when people were blowing people away?
That's a damn good question, because I've been wondering that myself. I mean, despite everything, you don't really see like crime rates really going down over recent months, and yet they can't find themselves the time to get out there when a shooting really happens and do in a fast manner. But yet you get a call because someone's in a store without wearing a mask, and they're right there in no time. That's why I've always felt that cops should have worse sentences for crimes they commit. Like, if something a regular person would go to jail for 5 years, make it 15 years for a cop. Give them a hard incentive to actually properly do their jobs. And if it's not something they want to deal with, then maybe that's not the right profession for you.
That is true. They should be held to a much higher standard. Yeah.
I've left jobs before because I don't like the way the company's going. It's kind of one of those. It's either you accept it or you got to get out. And I've gotten out because of it. And maybe it's just the same sort of thing.
I have too. And that's it. They should. People who are enforcing the law should be held to a much higher standard. And they should not ever, if they're convicted of a crime, no matter what it is, if it's spousal abuse or whatever, they should lose their job, and they shouldn't get retirement pay or whatever you call it, or off leave with pay or whatever you call it. If I do something against my job and I get fired, they're not going to pay me while I'm going through court. They're going to say, maybe we'll see you later.
Here's your severance. Goodbye.
Yeah. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Most of these cops, when they do something like that, what the quote-unquote punishment they're getting is just a paid vacation, because they're paid while they're gone. It's very rare where a cop is given leave without pay. So they get to stay home, enjoy their time for the next few weeks or couple months. Meanwhile, they're still getting a paycheck. That's not a bad gig whatsoever.
Amen.
I mean, it's a messy situation all around, because they treat their members like crap. So you do have real legitimate stuff going on in there that they have to deal with. But at the same time, you have buffoons in there who are white shirts who really just need to be taken out back and kicked to the 40, that's where we need to deal with this stuff, because these people are not acting in the best interest. I'm going to read I don't have the Facebook, I don't think I have. I was hopeful somebody would send it to me, but nobody did. Oh, here's Leon. Somebody sent it to me on the computer, so I'll have to read it aloud. So this is the official Royal Canadian Mounted Police statement from Superintendent Campbell, coming from, yeah. You could treat your ex-wife a lot better, sir. Statement from Superintendent Darren Campbell, re H. Strong, December 4th, 2020. In April of this year, a gunman took the lives of 20. Oh, he's going to say it. He's going to look at this fucking shit. Where is it here? 22 innocent. He says 22. 23. And injured 3 others. The gunman's actions devastated families and forever changed the lives of many. We got all kinds of plaster of RCMP, but nothing too much about civilians. April 18 and 19 will remain etched in the Nova Scotians' minds. Days of devastating loss were followed by months of heartache. I want to get your feel. Like, I'm going to stop there just because it's pissing me off. I want to get your feel on that, Tara, because you're the one who's been going through this. You're one of those people.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's hard on the head to hear all these things being said. I don't know, Seamus. I have things that are in my head, but I don't think that I should say them.
If you're not sure to say,
I don't know what to say.
No, there's no pressure.
I don't know. My biggest thing is that I don't understand why there's not more people like us. Why there's not more people that are close, that are saying what they know. I feel like there's a lot more people that know a lot more things that aren't saying, and I don't understand why.
I mean, there's no closure to this kind of thing. But I hear the few family members that I do hear from, which I never have quite understood. I mean, this is really brutal, what it does to them. Day in and day out. And here they are saying
it is
months of heartache. Who's causing it?
Well, and that's just it. You can't get a straight answer. You hear one thing, like from the police that you talk to, and then something else from the news, and then something else when you try to dig things up. You ask questions and you get answers that don't coincide with the facts, and they change things, they change timelines. None of it makes any sense. And there's just so many things. Like, I know all the family members are dealing with shitty things, like every single one of us. But like, there's different things that are happening to me personally that I know are not happening to other people, that makes it hard for me. And it also makes me suspicious, I guess, of why those things would be happening.
Well, it's life.
Like,
you have your life going on, but on top of that, you have all of this crap thrown at you. Unbelievable. And if they're going to try and say that 3 people's charges for Criminal Code 101 with something that results in a summary conviction was worth all of this?
No.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, I mean,
tingling, like just the rage.
Well, you know what gets me is that I don't even know how to say this. It's like they're not even hiding the fact that they're trying to obscure the facts. Like when they gave warrants out, when they released the warrants, the first time they had certain things redacted, and then the next release they had things redacted that didn't need to be redacted, like things that were open in the other warrant that we already knew, and they just redacted it because they said it had already been dealt with. If it already dealt with, why make it so that people would have to like put one page here and the other page here and add them together in order to come up with the full picture when it's already there? Like they're deliberately making it hard for us to find out what happened. That should tell anyone, regardless of how aware you are, that there's bad things happening here. Like, I know a lot of people don't understand or aren't at the level of knowing how bad things are and how deep these things go. But even your average CBC watcher with like way too much university education to the point that they're stupid should be able to put together that the timelines don't match, or that what happened there, if it's a result, let's just say it's a result of complete and total incompetence on the part of the RCMP, then there should be an uprising. If our police are that incompetent, they all need to be replaced right to the top. And if that's the case, then we need to get on top of it. But really, it can't be that. This has to be talk about a conspiracy. If ever there was a conspiracy to commit murder, this is it. I don't know. It seems clear to me. To me, if you can't see it, then you just need to, I don't know, get eye surgery or something, because it's been clear.
You were mentioning about the warrants. And I just have on the screen here, some work that one of the people in the background, real hard work, sitting there with a glue stick and scissors to deal with their crap. You have to piece in addressed in prior proceeding, which is something they've unredacted. So, this person really kindly went through and pieced in
that person. Can you imagine the
missing? The numbers don't match up or anything like that. That took hours, days for them to do that.
Days.
That's information that is publicly available. And versus
why?
the latest warrant, which is just pages and pages and pages of white.
Yeah. Yeah. And why? Think of the amount of time it took for somebody to go through that and redact things that were already open. Why?
I want my underwear back. Seriously.
Yeah.
We should all ask for our money back, because this
We
is
should.
a joke. This is a joke.
Like,
and you're making a mockery of people's lives. Like, seriously, pages.
This is it.
Look at this shit. There's 13 pages at one point of just white in a row. What is this? For what do they want to try and justify it as? This fucking bullshit?
Yeah, no, this is bullshit. And why make it white? Right? Why not make it black as though it were redacted? If it's white, it just looks like it's blank. It just sort of makes you, it goes out of your mind. When it's black, you're like, okay, there was something there. What is it? But when it's just all white, you go right past it as though there was nothing there to begin with.
They think they're so sneaky, and that we're so stupid. We are grossly and I'll just speak from myself, grossly ignorant of what this criminal thug enterprise is doing at the top here. And, you know, months of digging away in this shit. And I'll tell you, I don't even know hardly anything. I'll tell you, they're bad, real bad.
It's bad. We are into some bad stuff, bad, murky territory.
And that's
no matter who the players are, they're really bad, whoever they are.
That's your emotions, you know?
Yeah. That's fuck my emotions. That's my fucking family. You killed my family and you think I'm just going to be like okay with it and not go knocking on doors to find out who the fuck did this and why? Like, I might be small, but you may have to kill me in order to stop me from, you know what I mean? Like, do you think, honestly, that I'm going to be okay with your bullshit answers and I'm going to just sit here and drink my tea and not question you on it? Because why? You're the RCMP? You have authority over me, you think? I don't think you do. You don't have authority over me unless I give it to you. And I haven't. And if you can't figure out what's done to my family, then I'm going to find out. And you're going to deal with it and you're not going to like it. I may not like what I find, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to look. I can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to go collect my eggs for my chickens. I'm going to take the dogs for a walk. I'm just going to go grocery shopping and Christmas shopping, pretend everything is fucking normal. Fuck off. Fuck off. And that's coming from my brother, would tell you exactly that. Fuck off.
And this is why I think the RCMP is much more scared of the possibility of the families actually speaking up than they are about anyone like Seamus or me or Steve or anyone, because they could easily blow us off as, you know, we're people that don't really have skin in the game. But when the families are the ones that are getting out there and speaking up and starting to talk about all this, people will listen a lot more because these are people that have an emotional attachment to the situation that took place and where people are more likely to rally behind instead of 2 or 3 idiots on the internet just trying to speak out about how things don't add up. So people like you, Tara, and the rest of the families are the ones that I think are going to make the most impact in this situation rather than anyone else.
Well, and I'll tell you, and I don't know, people don't fucking like me anyway, so I don't really give a shit. But you know what? It bothers me that there's not more family members. Why? I don't understand. Other than unless you're in massive shock and you are like, say, Clinton Ellison, who ended up being, you know, I mean, that dude has got to be dealing with way more than the rest of us based on what he went through. But in my opinion, family members should be lining up to get on this channel, to talk to me and you and Seamus and all these people and to be part of this. And when I see family members who are either neutral, which, you know, maybe they have their own reasons, that might be one thing, neutral, which I don't understand. But if there's family members out there saying, don't look into this, or I don't want to know, or I can't deal with this because mentally I can't handle it, or I don't want to know, whatever the case may be, why? Okay? I don't care who you are. Look at any murder on any TV show that you've ever watched where it's a true situation. The families always want to know what happened. And if you don't want to know what happened, I want to know why you don't want to know what happened. Is it that you don't want people to know what might be dug up about your family member? Because I know my brother wasn't an angel. I don't give a shit. Unless he was into touching little kids, there's nothing he could have done that would make me feel any less about him. I don't care. If he murdered 100,000 people, if he, you know, I don't care. I don't care what I find out about my brother. Somebody killed him and I want to know who. And if I have to find out bad shit about my family and shit that he might have done in the past to do it, bring it. Because you know what? I'm not a fucking snowflake. I can handle the shit as long as I know the truth. But if I don't find out the truth, I promise you I will be door knocking. And people who don't want to see me, I don't give a fuck. You're going to see me. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm sick of being fucking lied to.
you and I both know knocking doors with you. And there's going to be some asses getting kicked if they didn't give the answer.
Well, and that's just it. And you know what? I might be small. Don't fuck around. You're going to give me answers, or I may have to just get them out of you. Or you may have to stop me, physically have to stop me. I don't know. But there's just no way that I'm just going to be like, you know what? Hey, let's just go on and talk about politics. How do you guys feel about Trump? Love Trudeau, though, right? Fuck off. I want to know what the fuck happened to my brother. And if I have to piss off everybody in the fucking RCMP, in Truro, in Portapique, who lives down that fucking road, who lives in the area, or anyone connected to anyone who's connected to anyone, you're going to have to deal with me eventually.
You know, and there's other
That's all I can say.
There's other people in this chat right now, and I won't identify them, that I know have already been down this road with the RCMP and the fucking lying, and where they say, oh, somebody's dead, and they lie about it. This is unbelievable. Rather than charge a criminal. And they let them
this
conduct
fucking bullshit.
Criminal enterprises, very large criminal drug organizations that exist.
That's right.
That's not
That's
this,
right.
This bullshit talking. It's not that. It's
no, it's not
real.
It is real.
And
there's human trafficking, there's drugs, there's guns, there's murder. There's way more things that you and I don't even know because we just don't fucking behave like pieces of shit. We don't go around doing criminal shit because we're actually not assholes. Well, I'm an asshole, but I'm not a criminal. I don't know, Seamus. I'm wild. Like I don't know if I had an entourage. I wish I had people who could just go and door knock with me.
We'll be down there soon enough. Don't worry about it. Wild cold
good.
Drag us away from you.
This fucking flu. You know what? I'd like to take everybody's head who believes in this goddamn fucking flu and smash them together. Honestly, a lot of these people are actual arguments for eugenics. Like, there are old folks who were in wars who are walking around with a fucking mask on. So you walk into a war zone where people are shooting at you, but you don't want to breathe a germ. Are you okay? Fuck. I don't know, man. People are so fucking afraid of everything. And all the things that they're stopping doing are all the things that make life worth living for. Right? If I'm not seeing my fucking dying grandma in her home, or I can't get surgery to save my life from whatever the fuck else it is that I have, I can't go to the hospital because I'm afraid of the flu, but I'm going to die of some other infection. How many suicides people have? How many, like, come on, you guys, what's worse? This fucking flu that kills people who are already sick? I don't know. For me, I know I'm a dick and I am on the fence, but there's a lot of argument for eugenics. Are you 180 pounds overweight and going to suck off the medical fucking money that everybody else has put in there? You know, you're not healthy. I really take care of yourself. I don't want to take care of you. And if you're going to die because you didn't take care of yourself, I don't know. I lack empathy, baby.
Into territory that,
yeah.
It's probably, but you know, you're right. And the thing is that why do you have to deal with this? Why do you have to deal with this?
Why do we have to investigate our family's murder? I should have cops knocking on my door on the daily saying, okay, this is what we have so far. This is what we need. What do you know? Who do you know? Asking me for information and questions. We shouldn't have to do this. What the fuck are we paying them for? There's no reason that we should have to risk our lives digging into really bad people because the cops are too busy covering the shit up.
That's what you pay for. White pages.
Right?
White pages.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
we're paying to get screwed. And you know what? If you want me to grab my ankles, you're gonna have to give me some KY jelly. Give me something. I'm sorry, I'm vulgar. I'm mad. I'm really mad. Like, I've gone through now, we've passed all 3 of my family's birthdays, right? Aaron, Emily, and Jolene have all had their birthdays pass. Do they think it gets easier? It doesn't. I know Kendall was the prime investigator in her own situation. That's fucking bullshit. We shouldn't have to investigate this shit. I haven't even been able to take time to grieve my brother because I'm spending too much time looking into this shit. Trying to figure out what the hell happened because the information I get from all these different sources are not reliable unless I'm getting it from you guys. The news tells you one thing, the cops tell you something else. Tomorrow they both change their story.
Oh, don't worry about it. Beth.
It's okay.
One word.
Yeah, right, Beth? Because we all don't know who the fuck Lisa is at this point. Let's call her Beth.
The amount of lying that I have found from the media, too, in obfuscating, like out and out lying, lying, is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Also need to lose their jobs. They don't deserve to be in our society. Clean a toilet until you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's your, you know, this is about you and how you feel. You know, could you speak more to the experiences that you've gone through since this? I know from my side, I've heard you and Adrian has, but lots of people don't know if you're willing to share, because I think that's what really gets to people and wakes them the fuck up.
I'm scared all the time. Right? I deal with my daughter who misses her cousin. She remembers Emily, and because Aaron was adopted, legally, I'm not his sister. So I'm not getting the information that the other families get. Because legally I'm not entitled to it, which is bullshit. I was supposed to be living there, so like there's a part of me, because I don't live without dogs ever. Right now, I have 2 huge dogs, and I don't dare anyone to come in my house. And if I had been there, I would have had 2 big dogs. So I don't know who would have come in, but they would have had to get past 2 great big dogs and my brother and all, you know, it would have been a lot harder of a time. Aaron was my big brother. I don't feel safe. I don't, when I see a cop, I don't feel safe. I had to call the police for something else, and the guy showed up, and he was on his way here. I phoned the RCMP station so that they could talk to me while I waited for this person to come up to my house so they could identify that it was the right person. You know, if they were to send an RCMP individual car to my house, I wouldn't let that person in, which is shitty because there are good cops out there. I know there are police who do the job because they want to protect people, or at least they get into it for that reason. And I know that they get stopped because that's really not what the RCMP is there for. It's for lack of a better word, it's a boys' club. You know, that's not what I mean, but you know what I mean. And you're either in it or you're not. And they protect each other from. It's like good luck bringing a lawsuit against a doctor because you need another doctor to say that doctor did something wrong, and they won't do it. And I don't know. For me, like, I used to be really motivated. I used to always be doing stuff, and I feel like everything is a dream, and I can't. I don't know. What do you do without your brother? I feel like not protected. He gave good advice, you know, he was like you, Seamus, that he didn't sugarcoat anything, which is how I need things to be said to me, right? Because I don't take hints very well, and I'm not very sugarcoaty kind of person myself, and so I need somebody who can give it to me straight, which Aaron always did. He loved the shit out of me, but he also put me in my place when I needed it. And he was a good dad. So he gave me lots of good advice as a parent. Because, you know, I'm good with dogs. So, you know, my kid is pretty patient with me. But Aaron and Jolene, you know, the three of them, if I called there, I was on speakerphone because I was talking to everyone. It was never that I called Aaron and he talked about Jolene and bitched about her, because that just didn't happen. You know, it was a conversation with all of them. And they all, when I went there, you know, Emily was a teenager, but she wasn't your typical little fucking puke of a teenager like you see now. You know, if I went to visit and she had plans, she canceled her plans because I was visiting, and she just hung out with my kid and you know, played the fiddle for us. She played ABCs. She, you know, played dinky cars and made food, and they everything they did was a family. That's the only thing that, for me, that I can't imagine that any of them having survived this without the other two. That would have been the worst thing. It's devastating. I try to stay busy and not even think about it, because when I want to tell Aaron everything. You know, I used to talk to him at least every other day. I talked to him, if not texted him, all the time. I don't know. I want to call him all the time. And I'm angry because he was the strongest person I know. Like, he went through a lot in his life. Mentally, he was really strong. But physically, to me, I'm biased because he was my brother. But to me, he was like a brick wall. Like, if somebody can do this to Aaron, none of us are safe. That's how I feel. I don't feel safe in a world where we don't even know what happened, and the police are not trying to find out. So, like, not only did I lose my brother, my family, but our country is not safe, because the people who are supposed to keep it safe, who we've been lied to and told are going to keep it safe, are the very people who are doing everything they can to make sure that we are not safe. And there's just too much. If you ask me, Aaron was targeted. I think a lot of these people were targeted, and we're not safe. We're not protected. The police are not protecting us. They're not. We're on our own. That's how I feel. I'm angry. I'm really angry. And I don't understand why the other families aren't doing this. I don't understand why they're not calling us. I don't understand why they're not telling us things. They have to know things. People live there. You know, from what I can tell, there's a lot of really close-knit families in this. Like, geographically, they're close to each other. I'm not. Like, Aaron was 2.5 hours away from me. We talked on the phone all the time, but I didn't have any interaction with any of these other people. But that's not true for other family members. Other family members, I mean, I visited Aaron. I was probably at Aaron's in Portapic 4 times. But other family members live right there. There are families who have dinners once a week. There are families who drop in on each other. They're, like the Ellisons. So you can't tell me that there aren't families who know a lot more than what they're saying. And it seems to me, I don't know. I ask a lot of questions, and I'm not getting contacted, let's say, by people who I feel should be reaching out. And I've reached out to some people, and they don't get back to me, and it doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. How do you not want to know? How do you not collaborate with the people who are clearly trying to do this, to figure this out? Doesn't make any sense.
I think it's very likely that the RCMP has just intimidated these people into silence. I mean, we've seen them do it before. I'm sure that a lot of these people have felt that they've lost enough and they don't want to lose anything more. So it's a very effective strategy.
And you know what? That could very well be true. Like, my perspective, like, I don't really like to give it because it is very limited. I don't see the other perspectives unless somebody like yourself points it out to me, just because I only have this perspective.
Well, I'm just going on a guess right now because I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know what reason that the families wouldn't want to have the answers to this situation when everything went by. I mean, I can't believe that many are happy with the answers they have gotten from the RCMP. So I figured that they would jump on any opportunity to actually figure out what really happened there.
That's what I think.
Best I can do is guess
and
on
even
that, but
yeah. And really, even the newspaper articles, they're all different from each other, which is different from what being told from day to day. I mean, if nothing else, why aren't they speaking out about that? If they don't want to talk to us, maybe they don't like me, maybe they don't like you guys, why aren't they on another channel together go questioning these things? Why aren't they collaborating with each other? Maybe they are, but I don't think they are. Why are they not pulling up today's article, comparing it to this article, and collectively asking the police, hey, what's going on? Why are they just accepting all these different, ever-changing stories? And I don't know. And it seems like maybe they're asking questions that I don't know about. That could be.
Yeah. And I know, well, firstly, you have a family.
Yeah. I do have a family of people that I have a family I'm related to and family I'm not related to, which is insane. Right? If you guys aren't family, I don't know what is.
Well, if anybody deserves it, it's you, right? All of these people, they need.
I just, the thing is it's not something that, it's not something that I just have to deal with, right? This is a countrywide thing. Everybody should be trying to figure out what's going on and why are we not safe with our own, national police department. It's clear that regardless of the details of this disgusting thing, why are the cops hiding it? That should be like a national news thing. It's clear they're covering it up. Regardless of why they're covering it up, are there really people who can't see that?
The media helps them. It really does. I mean, it drags it around to Beth, i.e., they don't want to tell the truth. They want to delete things. There are so many. I can't even begin to count how many there are. I've forgotten them now. That there's so many times I've caught them bullshitting with people. Yeah. Knowingly bullshitting. They'll go back and they'll delete pieces that are absolutely true just so that people don't know about this. And
Yeah.
you know,
And you go back and you're like, I know I read that. Even my stepmom, who is, not necessarily on the same level as we might be with knowing certain information, she was looking through the National Post or something. Anyway, she realized that they were changing articles and she started just printing everything. She prints everything. She was like, I knew I read that. I went back and I looked at this and it was totally different. And now she prints everything.
Yeah. There is a fellow involved in this that actually went to the libraries and went through all of the original articles about all of this in the paper.
Really?
She just sat there and read them. And I mean, this is the kind of commitment that people have, which is amazing to see. And frankly, I will say, I don't think it's untrue to say that the pressure that this group, which is everybody who watches and helps with information, has really put the RCMP into a bind. Sure, the media and Lango is very helpful. Very, very helpful because it gets out to, but there's also, this working with that. And that's what's so helpful because the RCMP, what are they going to do? You can only corner them so much. They're looking like fools. They really got to clean up their act.
And they're looking calm in public, but I think they're shitting their pants behind the scenes.
Oh, they are. They are. One thing was referred to me as a, quote, turd in the bunker from inside. I kind of like the saying.
Yeah. You guys are amazing. All these people, I can't get over it. I can't get over the support and it's amazing. It is. It's absolutely astonishing. And I don't know how these people look at themselves in the mirror, Linda. I don't know. Because I have such a guilty conscience that, like, if I were to lie to you about even where I was, I couldn't look at you. I would be, like, looking down here and looking over here. I can't imagine living with a lie like that. Oh my gosh. Can you, I don't know how these people aren't just killing themselves left and right just over the guilt of knowing the things that they know. And then what kind of people can actually perpetrate this sort of a crime and live with themselves? You have to ask yourself, right? What kind of people?
They're reprobate.
Who can go ask?
Sorry.
Well, just answer this, think about the type of people that it would take to go into somebody's house and blow away a 17-year-old girl. Who can do that?
Woman.
Or a pregnant woman. Who can do that? Who? Really, stop and back up for a minute and think to yourself, in our society, who do you know who can do that?
Well, I don't know. This is what the RCMP tell us.
Oh, right. 28.21. That's who I thought it was. Exactly who I thought it was.
Blank pages, just rafts of them. Reams. Disgusting, black, and I mean, about a dead man and a
fucking bullshit.
It's fucking disgusting. Disgusting.
It is. Yeah. And I sent that email this morning and I haven't heard back. So yeah, these people are. It's just amazing because how do you live with yourself? But also the number of people who would have to be involved in this happening, and the number and the type of people that would have to be involved in this sort of a situation.
It actually doesn't need
How do you
to
keep
be
it quiet?
Yes, that is stunning. The silence,
Right?
and
How
you
do you
spoke
keep
to that earlier, because there are people, clearly, through this I see, and I've seen the underbelly of the world for a long time. There are some absolutely, they're reprobate to me. They're beyond redemption. They're so evil that they have no conscience at all. It's just like,
Yeah.
what? Their wife could die, their mom, they'll sell them out, doesn't matter. They don't
Yeah.
care. But there are lots of people, funnily enough, involved in this story who do have consciences. And I can't understand for the life of me, the silence. People telling Steve to fuck off when he talks to them. And he appeals to them. And he says quite
And he's
openly,
so nice. He's so polite and so nice.
mm, yeah,
Can you give me just 2 minutes and I'll be right back?
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You were going to say, Seamus?
Sorry?
You were going to say? Just about Steve and how he appeals to the people?
There's so many people that have been approached throughout this whole thing, and very few will say anything. So few. Or even they'll start and then they shut down. And I'm like, I know, and that's why it was so important to hear from Tara and hear from other family members. Today is the day, somebody's birthday in this group. And I mean, where are their family members? They're gone. And they're not coming back. And what did we get? We got white pages, lies, open lies from media, lies from the very police force that we pay billions and billions of dollars to. It's disgusting. And then the people who, I'm not pointing fingers. I can't, because I'm a nobody in the story. Tara's opinion is the only one, or publicly yet, or Leon's is the one, or Sharon's, that matters, because these are people that have been directly affected by it. We haven't been, thank God, but it's so important to know inside that could be our family. Seriously.
It's a hard concept to think of, that it could be any one of us. But that's why, again, I say that these people are the ones that are going to make the real difference, because they're the ones that are actually people are going to listen to. They're the ones who have actually lost a lot from the whole shooting, and have learned nothing from the investigation that has gone on. So that's why I really think that more of these family members who have not spoken up yet, who don't want to get to the truth, they really need to come forward, because the more and more that are willing to do it, the more pressure puts on the RCMP. The more that the average CBC viewer is going to be willing to listen to this, instead of just listening to what they're told by the anchor, by the talking head on TV.
And poor Tara has been, actually, funnily enough, one of the vents that I have, because I'll bitch about how I don't hear from people. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I've been trying so hard just to maintain, cool, because I'm like I said, nobody, but I don't understand people's silence.
That's what I don't either. Like, I can understand maybe one or two people who just mentally they can't handle it. Parents, maybe, of kids. Sometimes it's just too fucking much, because your parents are supposed to die first. But for the most part, there's a lot of brothers, sisters, kids, and that's what I think too. If they don't want to talk, what the actual fuck is going on? And there's even been people that I know who knew Aaron, that I've messaged, asking, please, can you tell me anything? What about the area? Anything. And they don't. They'll give you a thumbs up or a yep, or a one where you, like one person I wrote a novel, like, are you this person? Can you please help me? Da 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 da. I got a yep. And then I wrote something else, another novel, like, come on, I'm looking for anything. And then I got a thumbs up, and that was it. How?
You've been made, you're just getting re-victimized, not even by the RCMP, but victimized again in the scenario because those people aren't willing to help. I can't understand consciences here in some people.
No.
And I'm not referring to necessarily families. I'm talking about other people.
In general.
Yeah. Where the fuck are all the people? The good police officers, the good EMTs, the good citizens just out there who saw something, know something, don't want that to happen to their families.
Well, here's what I find super interesting, and you don't live here, so you may not necessarily get it. I have a grandma who is 2.5 hours away in an old folks home, locked down due to COVID. And if my car breaks down, well, she knows about it before I call and tell her, because that's the kind of place we live in. If I went out and got drunk and took somebody home from the bar, my grandma would know about it. So there's just no reason, there's no way in this community, in this province, with all these small people who know who slept with who and what night and when did they go and where did they leave and what did they drink, that nobody can come up with what the fuck happened here.
I've asked that question so much, trying to understand.
Yeah. How is it that you can gossip about me, things about me, things that I've said or done or thought that I didn't tell you about, but and all of a sudden, all these things, but you don't know about this. That's all there is to it. It's a big fat ass cover up, and we need to find out who was there, who knows what. And either they need to start speaking out, or we're going to have to start going knocking on doors. And I'm good with that.
Because it's going to happen again. Irrespective.
That's right.
Let's put away theory that there's multiple gunmen, which I think something's going on. I have a feeling that something, and there's some evidence to speak to that. But
common sense says that there was way more than one person who had a weapon and did some bad shit. That doesn't all come about by one person. I don't care what fucking pink elephant world you're living in. It doesn't happen by one guy. No.
Putting that aside, I mean, even if that person is gone, and thank God for that, we have a police force that will do this. So it's going to happen.
Yeah. That's right. Well, and not only that, and this is probably my tinfoil hat might be on a little too tight, but my thinking is even people who are outside of this scenario, thank you, are going to be more fearful of the police. So then you add in all this COVID shit, and they're going to be vaccinating people using police force to make it happen, and the military and shit. I'm thinking you've got a bunch of people who are already fearful, or at least a little more heightened sense of fear in the police. Even if you haven't done anything wrong and the police come knocking on your door, immediately you start going through your head about what did I do? What could, immediately, even if you're not guilty of anything. So when they show up at your door for whatever the actual call might be, and society's already a little more fearful and less trusting of the police, people who are already heightened are going to be a little more heightened, and it's going to make everything a lot more dangerous. People who are a little more heightened are going to be less cooperative, a little more agitated, a little more likely to be offended when the cop ask them questions or is a dick. It's just going to escalate, in my opinion, a lot more scenarios than it would have otherwise. It seems like there's more to it than this, that this is not a random act that happened out of the blue, I don't think.
Well, I think I think you can kind of tell from. Sorry, I was getting some feedback for a second. I think the way that if you look at the map of the people who were hit by this, it doesn't appear random to me. If it was random, I feel he would have just gone to the closest houses, and he did kind of hit his neighbors. But then if you look through the rest of the map, he went all over that sort of area, the Portapique area, just hitting certain people. So I kind of got to agree. It seems like it was, at least in Portapique, it was coordinated. I don't know outside of that. He did go out of his way to hit certain people as well, like when he went way up north to hit the correctional officers. But I don't know how people can just say that this was a random shooting, because he would go to a certain area and just target anyone if it was a random act. It wouldn't have been, I'm going to this destination, then I'm going to this destination. It was like he had a map. He already had a map planned out with houses circled as to who he was going to hit. So to me, the idea that it's random is a complete load of crap to me.
Yeah, I agree. And you can't, to me, I can't look at the timeline and in any way say there was one person. The things that were supposedly happening at the time that Aaron was killed, how did these things happen? I don't know. We should get together a group of people in their own area with a water gun that looks like a real gun and go around pretending to shoot people. Just see how far you get. Or how about we commission, or why don't we get everybody in the chat to take on a project? Go and see how easy it is for you to find a brand new cop car with a sticker on it, and then decal it out and get it all set up so that it is real. Anyone, please.
Exactly.
If you can do that,
$10 challenge.
I will fly you to Nova Scotia and take you out for dinner. Please be my guest. I encourage you to go and find out what you need to do and who you need to know to get that. Please, anyone.
To know all of the bits and pieces. RCMP officers don't even know the bits and pieces of their own car.
No, that's right. They couldn't get it.
Those pieces aren't even available. Some of them. So what the fuck are you trying to pass off? Oh, yes, he was doing all of this and buying and buying and buying. What was that, back in August they're trying to say that?
I think so, yeah.
Completed? Come on. He bought the car right away and he had all the parts too, don't you know?
Well,
that was a brand new fucking car.
Well, Rage in the Cage was also talking about how to get the official sort of RCMP decals and colors, you have to have a specific code that only RCMP would know. So how is this random guy get that information and be able to do this to get everything to make it an official RCMP vehicle?
Oh, but in the latest warrant, they said that, don't worry about it. Here's where you can get it. And they put the official website online. Like, that's not law.
Oh, good. Let's go get them. Let's go get that. I'm going to decal my Subaru out as a fucking cop car.
Well, now
see how that works.
Because they put it online just to answer your question. Just so they don't have to deal with the truth. What's probably the most explainable answer? Real uniform, a badge, fully decked out car. What are you talking about?
Real cop car.
Yeah.
It's a real fucking cop car. Yeah. Anyone? Bueller? Fuck. Come on. Fuck. Come on, you guys. Be smarter and I'll be nicer. That's all I can say. If you want me to be nicer, you got to be smarter.
I should probably finish reading that statement if you don't mind.
No, I'm sorry, I got off track. Go ahead.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, it was me because I was angry and I wanted to hear your guys' feedback on, especially, the emotional side because as I said, today is the day. Today is a birthday of one of the family members. And, what's that going to feel like?
No kidding. I can't imagine. I've never had to experience something like that.
Every birthday, every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every Father's Day, every child's graduation. What the hell is going on here? times, 23. So this is what they decided to put out because Frank published the article. Statement from RCMP Superintendent Darren Campbell re H. Strong. In April this year, a gunman took the lives of 23 innocent people, 3 injured. The gunman's actions devastated families and forever changed the lives of many. Just remember them sitting up there and saying, we can't answer questions or these kinds of sites. Because that helps you answer how much they really feel about all of this. The tragic.
Well, yeah, didn't they say don't ask questions? You're not even allowed to ask questions.
No. I've heard from family members who have said, the ones that have been brave enough to reach out, which I really appreciate. I've heard from them, and they were informed, please come down with your questions that you have. We're more than happy to answer them. Show up. Oh, what do you get? You get Darren Campbell on one side of the table, one corner. You get a line of 4 people, one of whom is very interesting, and you sit down with your questions and then read them aloud, and they say to you, sorry, don't want to answer those because it may traumatize you.
Like, we're not fucking traumatized enough. How about you just tell us what the fuck happened to our family and stop trying to pretend you're protecting us? I don't need your fucking protection.
I'm not sure why the person took the time to write those questions, which must have been fairly traumatic in itself. Drove all the way down.
I would have thought so.
Just for you to say, no, we don't want to traumatize you. Fucking.
And who are they to decide what fucking traumatizes us? Can I be more traumatized to not know what the fuck happened to my family than to be told what actually happened?
Oh, that's what's traumatic. The true answers are traumatic. Traumatic for individuals other than family.
I think the most traumatic thing about this whole scenario is that now we have a country that knows we can't trust our cops. That's what's traumatic for everyone.
And how do those officers who are really good officers who signed up there?
Right?
There's one in this story. There's one in this story who is absolutely fucking done with the RCMP.
And honestly, I don't blame anyone for being done with the RCMP. I feel bad for Heidi Stevenson's family. And obviously, I have no proof to support this. Me, I go by my gut. I said this from day one. I think she was a whistleblower. I think she knew what was going on. And I think she was put in harm's way on purpose. And again, I have nothing other than just my big fat mouth to say that. I have no evidence of that, but that's my feeling. And it sucks because I do feel like she was a good cop. And I do feel like there's a lot of good cops out there, or at least they start out that way. I think they start out that way and then they get, they do something, they make a mistake maybe, and someone says, don't tell. And then it just goes from there. I don't know.
Can they tell the truth when they're lying about autopsy reports and shit like that? I mean, they will go to any length. We proved it with the actual, they will fabricate digital evidence, video. What the fuck are these people up to? And if they're going to try and say it was all just for this, you got to be out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
No. Not all the pain, not all the hassle, not all the warrants, not all the fighting in court, not all the money, not all the emotion, the negative publicity.
No.
There's no effing way it was over a summary conviction charge.
No.
Well, maybe I missed it when you were reading off the article, but they never stated how they came across this information that these people were admit ammunition, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Good luck. I think that'll be redacted. Get your Sharpies. See, I have no Sharpies now. I must have given. Oh yeah, wait, I have one.
You must have given them all to the police because they're going through them like crazy.
Oh, I wish I'd bought shares.
Fuck, right?
Now I just want shares in paper companies because that's all they do is print off blank paper.
See, I think we should buy shares in Morneau Chappelle. Get in on that RCMP pension fund scam.
Yeah, that was a.
That's a good scam. They're fucking lifting millions of bucks off the top of that.
Convicted and charged, and I believe convicted of lying in front of Parliament. Assistant Commissioner. Hello. And yeah, Minister scamming. What the fuck, man? This is all just a gigantic mob that runs us. And then taking money upstairs, of course. Right?
Well, and that's it. Like if people are thinking that this particular execution of 23 people was just something that happened with the RCMP and doesn't run all the way to the very, very top. I know that a lot of people, it's hard to wrap your head around, but you need to pay attention. Like, there's no way that the RCMP could be this collaborated, if that's the right word, and not be getting information from, right? They're not going to, as an independent RCMP, say, let's make this happen or let's cover this up. That's not what happened. Somebody somewhere. And like, what was that last thing that came out about, I can't keep it all straight, but there was something that came out that they said, they didn't want it to come out this particular way. And it was about how Trudeau, something that the report that Trudeau had gotten right away the same day, and they kept from us this whole time. I forget. You know what I'm talking about, James.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And that does not look like a real document. I'm sorry, not for an ATIP. No. The National Post never even credited themselves as making the ATIP, so that is highly bizarre. They want to claim things, bragging rights. They didn't brag about it. They just said, "Oh, we have it." From where? I think somebody just sat there and drafted it up. Kendall makes an awesome point here about they don't charge victims, and that maybe she took a deal in this process. So, well, I mean, what is her role? Her brother-in-law and her brother? Come on. We're into some serious nonsense here. And people's skeletons, yeah, we all have them. We all have them. You and I were talking about that this morning before this, because you and I were on the phone as this came out.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally. And we were talking about how, I don't know.
Well, and Stan is saying here, if they're willing to play the psyop with the wolves on the people of Nova Scotia, what are they willing to do? And that's true. They did do that. Like, they're fucking with us. And there was a news report, I think it was on the Rebel, but I could be wrong, where they were talking about the coming vaccine, Rabbi Media. The coming vaccines being tested, Nova Scotians are going to be the testing ground for it.
Can't touch that one. Not going to touch that one.
Right? But I mean, there it was.
Shut down.
I'm going to have to run here right now, guys, though.
You haven't
done, yeah. What's that?
All right. Well, it was nice to talk to you, Adrian. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. It was good to talk to you again too. And I'll check my mail since you said you sent me that package. I'll check my mail today. I'll get back to you on that. Thank you again, by the way.
No worries. It took me a long time. I'm a terrible pen pal. Probably the worst ever.
I'm not any better. I mean, I can. I'm bloody awful at picking up the phone and calling people, I'll be honest.
Same here. Yeah, no worries.
Alrighty. Well, I'll be talking to you two again soon, all right?
All right.
Okay, have a good day.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. See you guys later.
Have a great day. Wow, he does just amazing work. So,
I know he does. And yeah, he really does. And he's so nice and like just straight up, and he's just a kind of person.
Lucky to have good friends, I consider myself. I say thank you.
I don't know how I got involved with all you awesome people. Like, you guys are so smart and good at research and funny, and I'm just lucky to even know any of you guys. I get a kick out of it because I'm just funny.
The luck is mine. Well, God gave me very good blessings.
Same here. I was just going to say, like, some of the people that I got put in my life, I can't get over. My roommate, best ever. When I just asked you to hang on a second, I was going to go get coffee. She brought me one in. Who does that? Like, we get good people in our lives when we are good people. And when we're not good people, then we get shitty people in our lives. And it's just that way.
It is karma.
Isn't it called the Pareto distribution or something like that? When you step in the right direction, good things happen. And if you step in the wrong direction, shitty things happen.
Word of the day. I'm learning something new. Always.
I'm reasonably sure.
This is why it's good to have good friends. You learn new things.
I know a couple big words here and there. Makes me look smart.
Oh, I know. So sorry.
So was that the end of the article? I didn't even read it because, like I said, it came through when we were on the phone.
No, and I'm not saying that you shared it with me. I don't know who shared it with me. Somebody shared it with me.
Yeah, no, you and I were on the phone when it came through.
Days of devastating loss will be forever. This will be forever etched into the minds of Nova Scotians, according to the RCMP. Days of devastating loss were followed by months of heartache. People across the world grieved with Nova Scotians. What about them?
Yeah, hello.
While also admiring maritime resilience and ability to rally around each other with support, compassion, and generosity. The tragic incident.
What a bunch of fucking fluffy shit. Sorry.
No. Right there. Titled H Strong. Okay, yeah, good. Got a name for it. Got to have all kinds of names and acronyms, makes them sound special.
Acronyms, yeah.
Investigative teams were dedicated and worked tirelessly on this investigation, provided answers for the victims, their family members, and the public. I wonder if I have that hairy
bullshit.
I have that hairy clip somewhere where he talks about John Farrington. I'll have to find that where he talks about how many answers they're getting. From them. Though the gunman is ultimately responsible for his actions, he can never stand trial. We have a duty to investigate by the same standards as if he were alive. So what was it? What did they call him again? Yeah, some invented thing. Injustice Collector?
The Injustice Collector.
I like that.
Is that like baseball cards and stamps and shit?
Yeah. Anybody who does you a wrong and you're not happy about it, that's
Notebook,
an
maybe?
Collector. That's an Injustice Collector. Derp.
So here's my question about that. If that's legitimate, which I have my doubts, do you have a notebook? If you're an Injustice Collector, like, do you keep that shit all tied up in your head, or do you have a notebook? And if you do have a notebook, like, I don't even know where this came from or if I dreamt it, but at some point I feel like somebody had said something about a potential list So if I'm an injustice collector to the degree that they've put a label on me, like you might say I have narcissistic tendencies or I hold a grudge or whatever, but to actually put a label on someone like injustice collector, that would imply that I have a collection somewhere of people who've done me wrong, right? I don't know. So that makes me think there should be a list of folks who've screwed me over.
Oh yes, but there was a list, but then the list disappeared. The list that doesn't exist list.
Oh, right. Okay, yes. Initially there was a list.
Yeah, but they quickly poo-pooed that and then said no, there was no list. I don't know.
I wonder how they determined so quickly there was no list.
I don't know.
Seems to me that there was a list.
Sorry?
Say that again.
I wonder how that person knew that there was on the list that didn't exist list because of the visit from the RCMP.
Well, that's right. That's a very good question. That's a good question. It also seems there's just so many things that sort of lead one to think there is a list. Because if there was a list at the beginning, they might have said, we're not sure if there's a list. Why would you definitively say there's not a list? It seems odd to definitively say something like that in an ongoing investigation.
I'm having visions of bulldozers.
Yeah, I have too.
And bodies.
I have visions. Yes, and police hanging around out on the outskirts. Oh, hang on. Yeah.
Mom, this is either yours or Amy's or mine, and it doesn't fit because it's way too big.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute you, and then you can tell me when you're ready to go. Okay, so we'll just get back here. There is no room to the standards as if he were alive. In an investigation, there is no room for speculation. Every piece of information we uncovered and received was analyzed. Where was that? Where was that again? I'll have to find that. Let's just see here. Was that the destruction of evidence? Moratorium. I like that one. Where's that? Right. There we go. That's the amount of evidence. Right? Isn't that how they do that? Moratorium on the destruction of evidence. Dated October 15th. I guess I don't know what happened prior to October 15th. I would assume destroying of evidence.
A lot of it. Can you imagine how much evidence they have destroyed in that amount of time?
Oh,
the fact that they had to have a moratorium on it.
4 pages worth of stuff that they said, please don't destroy these things.
Stop destroying this stuff.
Notes, I mean, everything.
Like, is that not common? Why should you have to request this? This should just be how you don't destroy evidence. Right? Right?
Yeah. No. That's right up there.
I feel like I fell asleep and woke up in the Twilight Zone on acid. Because all these things that should just be, you have to fight for. And we're supposed to be okay with that.
But
I don't understand.
These are our employees.
Yeah. We should write up a bunch of pink slips and go fucking hand them out. You guys, you're fired. You fired.
Yeah.
We could put Donald Trump masks on and be like, you're fired.
You're out of here. Yeah. Jeez.
You're out. Yeah. You done.
These people.
This is
in an investigation, there's no room for speculation. Every piece of information we uncovered and received was analyzed. Hear the bulldozer? Fact-checked and corroborated in order to assess the weight, validity, and value of the information through thousands of hours of investigative work by hundreds of RCMP employees. We determined as much as possible about the gunman's actions and his motivations and how he obtained the equipment he used. You will find previously released information about these aspects of the investigation on our website. I wonder if those have altered. Probably. It's good that we archive these things. I like them because then they have a problem, and print them off. Our investigative objective was also to determine inquiries, actions, and standards, also centered gathering evidence to determine what role any individual may have played in terms of having the knowledge of the gunman's plans or having assisted him in any way. Facebook, I'm having pictures of Lisa on Facebook. In light of evidence gathered during the course of the investigation, today we have charged 3 people in relation to the providing the gunman with ammunition. Again, I would say, your reaction to all this is crucial, because was it worth all of it, Tara? Was it worth it?
Oh, the wait to find out all this wonderful information that we could have fucking figured. Really? Come on, are we really going to buy this? Are we supposed to believe that this is really what happened? The guy who was able to get all this guns and car and everything else on his own needed to enlist 3 other people, including a secretary, to get him ammunition? She's a secretary or something, right? Sounds like exactly the kind of person who should be getting fucking illegal ammunition.
Well, she legally purchased it. She illegally gave it. I bet. Well, did she? See, there. That's a good point. So she has a pal. I could be like the RCMP. And
she does.
AC. Yeah, but
supposedly
you need to have one to purchase it. So she and her
So
brother.
does that mean that he didn't?
Gun licenses. Sorry?
That means that he doesn't have one, therefore couldn't. I'm confused as to how he gets illegal guns and still can't get ammunition. I feel like they kind of go together. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Sourced out of California.
That's nonsense. That's a nonsense charge. It's nonsense.
Well, hey, this is what you get, Tara. I hope Christmas came early for you. Providing the gunman with ammunition. Throughout the investigation, we have been mindful about when we release information publicly, which is never. It causes distress for families and others closely associated to those who lost their lives or were injured. Do you want to speak to that?
Well, I was just curious how they know. How do they know? I haven't talked to anybody. Nobody asks me about how I feel of it.
Do you find it when they don't release information, does that help you?
When they don't release information?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they're releasing lies anyway. It doesn't help me when they don't release information, but it doesn't help me when they release bullshit.
Like this kind
It doesn't help me when they release papers that are blank, right? It doesn't help me when they release redacted information or that they're charging 3 people with giving this guy ammunition. Bullshit. It's like that guy who gave way out to the middle of nowhere that night in a storm to give out a speeding ticket. Really? Why? What? Or how about Wortman's dad being picked up for fucking razor blades? Come on, you guys. Why?
Pages and pages.
Page after page. I thought we were
Oh, there you go. Start again. Disgusting, man. It's disgusting. It causes.
So James is Lisa's brother. Is that correct? Sorry, I was just looking at that on your screen.
Your brother. Yep.
And who's the other guy? Any relation of?
Yes, her brother-in-law. Brian Brewster is her brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. So who's her sister?
Let me tell you that. Am I allowed to say that, or is that doxing? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really care who gets doxxed. My family got killed, so doxing you, I don't really care. No offense. If your family was involved, then I don't care about them.
Brenda Brewster. Let's see. Do I have her husband's picture? I have a bunch of files on them. They are in the Beaver Bank Kinsack Bulletin. Beaver Bank Kinsack Bulletin. So yeah, no, that's who it is. Brenda Brewster. Causes distress to families and others closely associated who lost their lives or were injured. Through the assigned RCMP family liaison. Oh, I like that. I like that. I think that's not true. Officers, plural? I don't believe there is officers, plural. There is one. Skippy. Families have been notified of the charges. Well, that was, what time was this at? Oh, this is curious. What time was your email, Tara?
Hang on.
I can tell you what time I received the Frank article.
8:33.
8:33. 8:33 your time, right?
Yeah.
So that's 5:33 my time?
It's 2:46 here now.
Okay, so I think they did actually notify you just before.
Before the article came out?
Yep.
Like, okay, they notify me when the article comes out, but I understand that, but why aren't they notifying me when the information comes out? Why do I have to wait for an article? Like, how long did it take somebody to come up with the information and then write an article about it? Why do I have to find out? You know what I mean? I should be finding out before the article's written. As soon as this information is known to the police, why do I have to be warned of an article coming out? I shouldn't have to even care about the article. I should have known about this long before a reporter, wouldn't you think?
I would think if we operate in tact. Yeah, if we lived in a normal society, that would be the case, because that's not adding up.
Well, even that gun thing, they said in that article or whatever they wrote, we didn't want you guys to find out this way. What you meant is you didn't want us to find out at all. And since we were going to find out, you had to fucking put it out there and cover your own ass.
Crazy.
It amazes me that they're actually allowed to operate like this.
Well,
sorry.
Our employees, your employee, you hired them.
Yeah, right. I don't remember the interview process.
You paid them. The gunman.
Like, should this not be maybe a voted thing? Sorry. Go ahead. Maybe we should start voting these folks in and out.
The whole system needs to be rebuilt. It's broken entirely, but for another day.
It really is.
I mean, it's all just a
scam. Yeah.
The gunman's relationship with others was very much part of the investigation, and as every piece of information, were analyzed as as we pieced together the gunman's actions and motives, and the potential for others involved. Yes, remember that we're doing an investigation. This is why we can't tell you anything because of a summary.
Yes, it's an ongoing investigation.
They're really looking bad. I hope they feel the pie. And any officer who's watching this, really, you better clean it up. Sorry?
Just a random observation from looking at the names that you had on the screen. I don't know why. These fucking people are old. Like, I mean, they're not like older than dirt, but they're in their 50s and 60s. What are they doing? Is this what people in their 50s and 60s do? They hang out with drunk guys at their fucking fake Montana's bar and drive around in cop cars and shoot guns? Is this what retirement looks like?
Well, we probably financed all of that too. You know, the bar and all of it. We probably financed that.
Some weird characters here that
Maybe
play this little game we got.
Apply for a job.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I could have a gun without a license.
You could have a Montana.
Oh my gosh. I could have a Montana's bar? I could have a cop car. I'm coming to pick you up in my cop car.
No problem. That'd be awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Siren?
You can fucking drive, dude. I'm going to use the bullhorn.
The bullhorn?
You know what? I'm going to stay on the radio so that when I am ready to, you know, rob a bank, maybe, I could probably just listen to the radio and find out when they're coming to get me.
Of course, this is all in
I could put all in satire.
Yeah.
I could put you in the back of a cop car with handcuffs. And we could maybe see how long it takes you to get out. But don't slip on the gas. Be careful.
Do you know when that fact came out? Oh, that's a very interesting story and who all that involves. It was not just Linda. It goes back further to some very connected to the police department, to the RCMP and to Halifax Regional.
No.
Great. We're going to do that.
Come on.
That out. Sorry?
You're ridiculous.
Get on with you.
It was Gabriel Wortman. You know, he had too much to drink and he lost his temper. It happens.
It's what happens when you're an injustice collector.
It happens. You know, it could happen to the best of us. How about that hockey game? Let's think about something else. We don't think about the real shit.
It reminds me of when I was young. We pieced together, as a police agency, we cannot, however, dismiss evidence from the investigation that others contributed to the incidents by providing the gunman with ammunition that he used on April 18 and 19. Today, we have charged the following individuals. James Blair Banfield, brother of Lisa. Lisa Diane Banfield, a.k.a. Beth, or blank. We will not use the victim's name. And Brian Brewster, brother-in-law of Beth, Lisa, for the following offenses between 17th day of March, 18th day of April, did unlawfully transferred ammunition, .223 caliber cartridges, which somehow fit into the RCMP weapon, and 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridges, contrary to Section 101 of the Criminal Code, which results in the summary conviction. Serious offenses here. Based on the investigation to date, in those charged cooperated with their lawyer present on the day that they were questioned and lie detector, because they were so cooperative, these individuals had no prior knowledge of the gunman's actions on April 18 and 19. Facebook page, Lisa, Facebook page. In addition, investigators have determined the ammunition was purchased and trafficked in Nova Scotia by the Banfield family. We thank our employees who responded to the incidents of April 18 and 19 for their courage and commitment to public safety, and all those who have spent thousands of hours on this investigation for their dedication and resolve. At this point in time, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you, because it's
the resolve.
Hours.
Yeah.
Not the RCMP. They're thanking you.
Now, that's just simply not true, Seamus. They have spent thousands of hours redacting shit and covering things up.
Well, yeah, Sharpies and blank pages. Yeah.
There's like a lot of blisters and calloused fingernails. Hands, I mean.
Falsification of evidence, digital evidence. They're getting really good with all this stuff. Well, they have been very good for a long time. We will continue to work with Nova Scotia Public Prosecution Service and Family Liaison Officer, Skippy, singular, will maintain their relationships with the victims' families to support them however we can. Please drive down and answer your questions. We recognize there may be outstanding questions about what transpired this past April. Do you have questions?
One or two, yeah. Didn't they see something at the end of that letter about resolve?
I think we're getting there.
Resolve.
Yeah. It always takes so long.
Bye, Linda. Thank you so much for coming, girl.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Take good care. Have a super day, and God bless. We recognize there may be, just maybe, outstanding questions which transpired about what transpired this past April to ensure a fair trial of those who have been charged. Summary conviction.
Fair trial, huh?
You're going to get more out of the Kovu mask. And with the public inquiry now ongoing, it would be most appropriate, unbiased opportunity to provide any additional information is to do so with our full participation in the inquiry. The RCMP will respectfully, your employee, will respectfully decide not to talk to you. Further commenting on these matters outside of the inquiry.
Respectfully, hey?
Super husband, Darren Campbell.
Yes. How nice it might be to talk to his ex-wife, huh?
Well,
they suicided her yet?
I'm not going to bring her into it because she's a hero. She is a hero, and I know she's going through a lot of, from what I understand, through.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Can you imagine being married to that yucky guy? You can only imagine. It is shitty, though, because the police treat each other like shit. They treat themselves like shit. They treat their families like shit. Some of them.
Yeah.
And they don't get... Like, I know people in the RCMP or going to school to be an RCMP, and they really... Some of them get into it because they want to make a difference. They actually want to help people. They want to make people safer. They're patriots. Those are the kind of people who should do it. You know, in my opinion, there's some jobs out there that it's not a job. It's kind of your personality. Like nurses, if you don't have the right personality, you shouldn't be a nurse or a teacher or a police officer. I actually met a security guard at the Halifax Shopping Center the other day because I had some big issues in there the other day. Hey, Ozzy. I had some big issues in there. And the security manager was so nice and so exactly the personality, like calming and didn't rile the bear. And I could be pretty hard to deal with. And he was so good that I wrote to his boss and said, you know what, he's awesome. Because I was pissed off when I went in there because we got herded out of there by these two other dickheads. And I told him, and I don't know if you know, but I swear a lot, and I'm not overly polite. And he just listened to me talk, and I know it's hard to believe, but he just listened to me talk, and he let me get it out just exactly how it should be, when you're dealing with the public. And he was so good. But if you can't do that, then that's not the job for you. Just like being a police officer, you should be there to de-escalate the situation, not to add to it or make it worse or make somebody else feel that but if they're not doing that, they shouldn't be in that job.
No. That letter was brought, by the way, by Derp.
By Derp?
Yeah.
I was wondering who that writer of the letter was.
There we go, Lisa Croteau. Derp.
Oh, that is her. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of derps in the police. There was one police that was talking to the group of people outside of a cafe in Ontario regarding the COVID nonsense. And you could hear the Valley girl in her, and I just thought, Jesus. Like, you're a cop, and you just don't command any respect at all. The level of, I don't know, mental gymnastics you have to do to make what they're saying make sense. You really have to remove all logic from the conversation in order to even process it.
Sad.
It is. And scary, because these are the folks in charge.
No. We're in charge.
Well, these are the folks who think they're in charge.
Yeah, yes.
These are the people who are supposed to.
We'll keep digging.
Anyway. Oh, yeah, we're going to get answers. There's no question. It's just a matter of what are we going to have to do to get them? And the fact that we shouldn't have to do this. This isn't our job. We're not getting paid for this. Other people are getting paid to do this, and they're not. And at this point, they're pretty much getting paid to stop us from doing their job.
Does your boss do his job and your job? Or sorry,
Pardon me?
Do you do your job and your boss's job? Because that's what's going on here with these clowns.
No. And if I, let's just assume for a minute this was just a fuck up. If I fucked up that bad at my job, do you think I'd still have a job?
No, you can just lie and falsify.
Would you? Yeah, no. Yeah, you can just lie and cheat. I mean, I used to work at a bank. Can you imagine if I fucked up my job that bad? That can't be a fuck up. That's a deliberate. Like, talk about conspiracy.
Yes, Ozzy. Lisa, brother and brother-in-law have been charged with an ammunition charge, providing ammunition. These aren't repeats, by the way. They're just blank pages after blank pages. Because the black, we ran out of black. I think the markers died.
Yeah, all the Sharpies ran out. They couldn't order any more from China.
Oh my. It's just disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah. Anyway, well, was that the end of the letter? Lisa, or what's her name?
That was, Derp. That was all Derp and Darren had to say.
I'm so glad. I was waiting anxiously, and super glad we got a warning about that. Really? Did they think that was going to be traumatizing?
Wait for the bullying. I can't. Yeah, Kendall. Wow, she was all over that right away. They're going to say that.
What's
she
that?
was bullied. Like.
Yeah.
You see, well, how many people were involved there? 3. So he was bullying 3 people. Is that right? Including a man.
Including 2 men.
Oh yes, 2.
2 men, including the brother of the girl he's supposedly bullying. Now, I don't know about you. You have a sister, Seamus. If there was a man abusing your sister, are you going to help him get ammunition? I don't know.
No.
Maybe not. Probably not.
I don't help goofs. But if they have police cars and RCMP issue weapons, well, and badges, real uniforms, I probably think that they might be a real police officer or somebody working for the government.
And in that case, I don't need to help you get ammunition.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time selling the bullying story now with two guys. That's really going to fail, including some other members in the Banfield family. I'm pretty sure that Sean is related. I can't find the proof yet, but I'm pretty sure Sean down in the Shube at the G spot is related.
The G spot. Yes.
G spot. So, very upstanding.
Yes, it looks like an absolute legitimate business.
I don't know how.
Sorry, that was my face of. I don't know what that was. My face of, but it's hard for me to see shit like that with a straight face. Yes, that's it. Derp.
I don't know. I don't know how much money it got. I checked the bank records. I was doing some research with somebody who's in here, who I haven't spoken to that fact ever, and that's for another video. But how much it's affected certain people in the investigative team, funnily enough, it's really, and that's why I won't really talk about it. But it has really affected them emotionally.
What do you mean?
Well, it's hard.
I can't imagine. I mean, it's got to be hard, especially if you are one of these police officers who are legitimately trying to do your job.
But equally in our team, there's been a couple of people who it's really hit hard. I mean, I know it's not the easiest, but it's nothing in comparison to what you as a family member experiences. But I'll tell you, I was really taken aback with this hurt everybody,
Well, it hurt our whole country. This isn't just a mass murder in Nova Scotia. This is a mass cover-up by the nation's supposed to be police force. The National Police Force is covering up a mass murder. This has nothing to do with me. It just happens to be my family that were involved, but this is our whole fucking country being fucking screwed by a bunch of people supposed to protect us, that we pay. The money that we pay to be protected by the people who are covering up a fucking mass murder. What the fuck? And still people are watching hockey. Pardon? Darren has a nice house. I'm sure he does have a nice house. On a police salary?
He and his wife, his new wife. Also in the RCMP.
She's police as well, is she?
She is a
or is she the CSIS chick? No, she's an inspector.
I don't know if that's mixed into it too. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they're all friends. You know.
Okay, well, hang on. Let's see. Hold on. Boy, if I could type, I could take over the whole world.
I type live on screen, and
oh God,
not a good scene.
It's embarrassing.
That's why I work
it's
on the
fucking
phone.
Embarrassing.
I don't hear people's voices anyway. I'll be right back.
You said $690,000?
Yes.
Okay.
I would never, of course, say where that is, but yes, he has very nice, at least one property.
Okay. So you need a $60,000 down payment minimum on that because you need at least, well, I guess that's not true. You could put 10% down. I was trying to figure out the level of income you'd need to qualify for that mortgage from working it backwards. It doesn't show me that.
They make outrageous money. Outrageous.
But their mortgage, they would need $60,000. Oh no, they would need $30,000 down. Like you need at least 5%.
So his wife makes somewhere between the range of upwards of 123,000 to 132,000, and he makes somewhere between 139,000 plus to 146,000 plus all.
Oh my God!
Benefits. So they're pulling in $270,000 a year in that neighborhood, plus benefits, plus probably some side that could be happening. I wouldn't ever make an accusation, but you never know. Could be some things on the side.
Jesus Christ. They don't do enough work to earn that kind of money.
Yeah, they do.
Can you hang on? I'll be right back.
Sharpie. Use the Sharpie. They're good with Sharpies. Plus bonuses, overtime. Let's see here. No monetary compensation for overtime. Okay, so they don't get overtime. Engagement rate, 6-month service, recommended rate after. Okay, I suspect he's being recommended for promotion, so he's probably getting this figure. And we don't see, of course, the superintendents, or sorry, the commissioners and commissioner pay rate.
I love you. Poor Bob.
But don't laugh about it.
Okay, well, we'll wait until she's back. So, you know, not a bad job if you want it. I guess we're always hiring over here. Ortis and things, you know, you better be friends with our other employees, though, and then you can get a job and sell our secrets to everybody across the world. Totally get us in shit with the rest of the world, the intelligence communities of the rest of the world. Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, you have to sell.
Did you see my new dog?
No,
Sorry?
I've seen pictures.
Where is she? It's my girl. Mwah.
Here, let me grab
I
my
love my dog so much.
Oh, what happened there? Give me 1 second. There we go. Oh.
In there. Sizzle. There we go. Aww. He's not even the size of Eva's head.
No. He isn't even
So
like
funny.
a fatty. He's a total fatty. It's huge. He's like Ben Johnson on those stereos. I didn't.
Yeah, she's my girl.
Aw.
I know, isn't she sweet? I love this dog.
A huge dog.
Oh yeah, she's massive. She's not full grown yet. She's not even 2.
What?
Yeah, no, she's only, what is she now? Not quite 2.
Oh my.
She's my girl though. Isn't she beautiful? Look at, she puts her hand up and well, look at her paw compared to my hand.
That is massive.
Yep. That's my kind of dog. The people think, oh, I have a pit bull and he's 65 pounds and everyone's like, oh, he's huge. I'm like, no, he's just little. He's just a little dog. Eva's a big dog. I like a big, huge fucking dog.
Yes. I wouldn't want to mess around with you. And that's only one.
No. Yeah, no. Well, and you know, it's funny because everybody's worried about pit bulls, but their bite per square inch is like 270 something pounds per square inch. But these guys are 4 something. They're half the bite pressure of a shark. And the pain tolerance, and she's huge.
That was just what I was thinking, Ozzy. I wouldn't want to clean up the poop.
Well, here's some funny information. I have a freezer because I feed my dogs raw, and I have a freezer for just dog food. Yeah, Roddies are my favorite too, Dave. And I have a freezer for just dog food. And I used to spend about $140 a month on dog food. And now it's like $260 about. Because she eats, yeah. I feed 1 bag of dog food to her. And the other bag I split between my pit bull, my cat, and my Yorkie. And then whatever those guys don't eat, she cleans up the rest.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. And she's wicked. She's an awesome guard dog. Like you would not want to try to come in here at night. I don't dare you.
No. No police car is going to save me.
No. And that's just it. Like I said, I don't fuck around with dogs. You know, I like a big dog. When I like to know, because I'm small and I lived in Vancouver and I always had Rottweilers my whole life since I was an adult, because they're my favorite. When I started training dogs, there was a Rottweiler that somebody left at the kennel I worked in, and she adopted me and she was my first. And ever since then, I just love them because they're kind of big and oafy and kind of dumb, but they're easy to train. And they're loyal, like, and she's a brick wall. Like my pit bull, she dominates him. He doesn't stand a chance. If he tried to go after her, he wouldn't stand a chance. Not at all. He tries to play with her, and she just dominates him. She goes up on her back and lays him right on the ground like he's not even anything. I mean, he loves every minute of it, of course, but really, if he tried to fight her, she would win. She's strong and high pain tolerance. Like, he'd chews on her face and she doesn't even care.
Wow.
Yeah. It's awesome. And when you hear them fighting, if you're not seeing it and you just hear it, you think they're killing each other. Yeah, something else. But that's what I like. As a small female, I'm a small girl. If you could get past my 2 dogs, then, you can get whatever I have in my house.
Where's your NBA contract?
My NBA contract must be lost, and I think it's got to do with the COVID. It's the only thing that makes sense. I can't understand why they haven't called me yet.
Yeah, that's a bit of an inside joke because Tara always answers the phone and she says, you ask her how she's doing. She just says, oh, hanging out, being small, waiting for my NBA contract.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm a really good basketball player for a short person who doesn't know how to play basketball.
You're pretty good at it?
Yeah, for someone who sucks, I totally am, yeah.
3-pointers, or what's your...
Yeah, that's it. No. Funny enough, I do play pretty good pool. I need platform shoes to reach, but yeah, I'm a good pool player. I actually do have a pair of platform shoes that I call my pool shoes.
Well, okay,
when I
mess around with your dogs or play pool.
Oh, yeah, my dogs are highly misunderstood, just like myself. But that is all right.
No, everybody understands you. I think, at least understands kind of where you're at somewhat, and you help us to keep in contact with the humanity, which is really important because there is so much. It's very easy to read things from afar, and to know and to hear it is to see it is a totally different story, even just from the outside.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's unreal. Like, it's hard to even still believe it, because I found. I was going through some stuff the other day and I found a photo album that Aaron had started for me of Emily. So all the pictures from when she was born and and then he got to a certain point and left the rest blank for me to fill in, because him and I weren't much pen pals, but we always wrote to each other, and he always sent me photos of Emily. And I found a birthday card that Emily had made me. So that was pretty cool that I found that. And just these pictures of her when she was little, and she was just so sweet and so cute. And I really am grateful. I know Adrian went through Aaron's Facebook pages and downloaded all the videos and stuff so that I could watch them whenever I want to. And it was so nice that he did that and that they're there to watch. But there's a lot of really interesting things on that hacked Facebook page if people were so inclined to look. And there's a lot of people in this story that have secret Facebook pages and additional Facebook pages, and like a lot of things where you're like, oh, that's interesting. Why did that happen then? Or how is so-and-so friends with so-and-so? And how would that really play out? And there's a lot of those questions where I just feel like, some of those answers just give you more questions, right? When you're looking through things and you find connections and you think, oh, how did that happen?
Yeah. More questions arise always with, but they find coats and things like that and warrants that are drafted after you talk about it, and I don't know.
I'm likely
as they go. Sorry.
Well, that's what they mean when they say it's an ongoing investigation. They mean it's an ongoing story.
Yeah. Just use
right. It's just we're just going to write it as we go. That's right. We'll just carry on. We'll write it as we go. And when you guys find out the truth, we'll just, oh, whoops, we made a mistake, and color that out for you. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry.
White out the entire page. No problem.
That's okay. They'll tell you what they need you to know because they don't want you to be traumatized.
Traumatized. Right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's traumatizing how stupid they think we are.
Do you have anything you want to add, or should we just wrap it up?
I don't have anything to add about that, but I do think we might look at doing a comic relief sometime about all this stupid COVID shit. I was at the mall the other day, the day I got escorted out of the mall for not wearing a mask, and it was coming up on Black Friday. And oh dear God in heaven. Like, it's just so funny the things that they will and won't do now. Anyway, well, I think we should do like a comic relief about the COVID and the nonsense and the SJWs and just shit that we can make fun of people, because there's a lot of people out there to make fun of. Like, a lot.
There are. I try to keep it. I like. There's so much other things I need to be talking about, but I don't know. I don't know if it's right to talk about other things on this channel at this point in time, but the Kohu is a bit of a mess.
It's a disaster. It's overreach beyond what, you know, and it feels like, and obviously I have no proof of this. This is just a tinfoil way out there thing, but I mean, it's interesting that this all happened when it did. This shooting and all the COVID stuff, you know, making people afraid of the police and then giving the police extra power to enforce things that they shouldn't be enforcing and not enforcing things they should be. It's just, it's a big mess.
Yeah. No.
But anyway, well,
coming to your city soon with Kovu.
And if they don't do their job, you don't have. Sorry? No, I said if the military doesn't do their job, they'll send in the UN military like they did in Montreal or Quebec.
I was doing the math on Kovu vaccines and how many vaccines are produced here on a yearly basis in prior to this. And the math isn't really working out very well in terms of the fact that they manufacture billions and billions and billions of vaccines, which of course would be stored in, I don't know, warehouses, which are where not doing, but I'll do that another time. Yeah, we should do a stream about that here at some point.
Yeah. Maybe we could get people to send in their funny shit that they've seen of idiots with their fucking walking around with their face taper.
It's a choice of freedom, and frankly, that's what our forefathers died for. Many of them. Yeah. And here we have it in question, and people are just like, "Yeah, okay, no problem. Just keep taking more."
Yeah, that's right.
Great reset.
They just give up their freedom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Trudeau even said that. It's just the funniest thing that, you know, nobody believes anything until our sock puppet says it. The dude can't even pick out his own clothes and we're taking advice from him? Come on.
Yeah, I brought the Great Reset up quite a long time ago. You know, I just delved into a couple things. Every once in a while I'll touch on something and I was like, keep watching for this term. You're going to hear it. And
yeah.
Sure enough, it's, you know, bang.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
I know. Okay. You know what, as much as I don't want to be right about this stuff, and as much as I generally do like saying, I told you so, fuck, I say it a lot lately. I feel like I said this, years ago. I feel like I showed people the whatever years ago, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, they're sending me emails and text messages of things they think I should be shocked about. But I sent that to them 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, you're way far behind at this point in the game to be not knowing what's going on. If you really think like this world is run on elections and shit, you need to catch the fuck up, because you're so far behind that I don't know if you even can at this point.
Well, I think people can, but they have to find people that they really trust, that don't seem to have some skin in the game, and researching them to find out, do they have a skin in the game? Because lots of people do that come off initially as, oh, we're doing great things, or we're patriots. Not necessarily so. They're taking money from somebody and just stirring the pot even more. But if you've got sources that have always panned out to be true, or on a fairly regular basis, I think it's safe to say maybe I can trust some of what they say, and that'll help you catch up to some of these things that are behind. I know it's difficult dealing with people saying to you, oh, do you know what I just found? And I'm like,
I know. And you're like, are you shitting me right now? I know people send me things like the Corbett report. I'm like, I've been watching the guy for years. If you're just finding out, you probably should just sit around and binge watch that guy at least for a little while and catch up on at least, the 9/11 at least. And people who still don't know what happened on 9/11, I'm like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. I don't know what to help you. I don't know where to start. Get a notepad and a pen.
Rabbi will give you a story, I'm sure. They'll catch you up.
It's just, they'll catch you up.
Oh, yeah.
They do some good work. I have found some, things in there that they really do. But it doesn't matter who it is, that, there's going to be some things that you can take and other things where you think, no, that's not okay.
Once you understand where a person's coming from, then
you can apply their perspective.
Their stuff a little bit better, because you're just like, oh, that's immediate trash, go away. And other times, you've got something here that's really legitimate. I mean, they were pumping the story about wearing the masks. I think a lot of people forget that when I talk to them. They were like, oh, they've always been anti-mask. I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
No, they weren't. Initially, they were wearing them.
The hockey sticks,
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to get the COVID. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for listening and for commenting. And please, if you have anything that anything that you heard, anyone you think might, people have to fucking speak out. This is a big ass conspiracy, an actual conspiracy. If I had a secret and I wanted nobody to know, the only way for nobody to know is for me to not tell anyone. If I tell one person, guaranteed somebody else is going to know. Guaranteed. So the fact that nobody is spilling their fucking guts on the shit that they know, that's bullshit. And be aware that we're going to find out what happened. I'm going to find out what happened. And if you think that that's going to be a problem for you, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to just sit around and read books and raise chickens and just ignore the fact that there's a group of fucking people that murdered my family. Or if you think that I'm just going to not look into it because, I'm not strong. I have a fucking concussion and I'm mentally strong enough to deal with this shit. So when you're telling me that this is too much for you to mentally deal with, you can fuck the fuck off. Okay, I don't care about your mental state when my family is dead. And if your family is dead too, unless you were Clinton Ellison, who I think has a legitimate excuse for being mentally beside himself.
Yeah.
Besides him, if you're too mentally fragile to do that, please get castrated and don't breed, because your genetics are not strong enough. We don't need them. We need stronger people than you. If you can't dig in, what's that?
Brave and honest people.
Brave and honest people. And if I have a theory, and I'm not qualified for any of this shit, but I have a theory that people who are dealing with really bad mental problems is because they're dealing with really bad guilt. And a lot of those people need to sit in quiet for a minute with themselves and figure out what they're guilty for, and then figure their shit out. If you can come to terms with your guilt, a lot of your mental problems are going to go away, because that's that shit eating at you from the inside out. Yeah. If you're hiding stuff, if you think it's got no consequences, it does.
Yeah.
So if you're guilty, come clean and spit your shit out. Because you know what? We're going to find out what you did and what you know. Anyone who is listening to this, we're going to find out what happened. And then all your shit's going to be spilled. You'd be better off to just come clean and say, this is what I know, so we don't have to go around digging in your fucking past.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Come clean and say, I know what happened during this situation, so that I don't have to go dig up your fucking skeletons.
Yep. Coming to peace with ourselves, even though we all have dirty pasts, different variations of it, but once you come to peace with it, it's okay, and other people will forgive you.
And that's just it. And if they don't, really, who gives a shit? You only have to live with yourself. You only have, at the end of your life, it doesn't matter how many people you're surrounded by while you're alive. In your last weeks, months, year of life, when you're sitting in your old folks' home, in your rocking chair, you're alone. You're alone with your thoughts and with your guilt from the shit that you did in your life. And if you can be okay with that, you go ahead. I know I can, because I know that I try to live my life so that I don't have to deal with that shit, because I have a really guilty conscience. And as I was a younger person, it did affect me mentally, some of the shit I did. And I dealt with all that shit, and I move on with a clean conscience. And I'm honest, I try to don't lie. I don't fucking rob people. I don't murder people. And I can sleep just fine at night. I don't have a guilty conscience. But anyone who knows what happened here and isn't speaking out, and you're hiding shit, you either are part of it and you did something, or you know somebody who did something, or you know someone who knows someone who knows something. Speak out.
Thank you.
Speak out, say something.
I do hope that they'll get in contact with us, and, because we don't have a horse in this race other than a really good friend. And
really, if somebody came to me and said, I know exactly what happened to your family, and this is what happened, and it's all laid out, and somebody told me, and it was so brutally bad, and I wouldn't even tell. I just want to know, because that's what keeps me up at night. Obviously I am traumatized by what happened to my family, but what's going on in my head is way worse, because I'm guessing, than it would be if I know, and then I can deal with it. I can wrestle with something I know. If I know the truth, then I can handle it. But if I don't know the truth, I can't handle anything, because I don't know what it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. All you got to ask questions and
Anyway, sorry, I could ramble on. You know how I am.
No. It's, please, letting people know how you feel is really important, because they don't see that side. They don't understand it. What they see is, pieces of paper and goofs like me, and they don't understand the real emotional toil this is having on all of you, which is huge.
Yeah. And I don't know if other people feel that way, but for me, there was a very not very well known movie from years ago with Kiefer Sutherland and Sandra Bullock. And she was murdered at the beginning of the movie, and he drove nuts trying to figure out what happened. And eventually, the guy who did it to her said, "Look, I will take you through what happened to her, but you have to go through it, and you'll die in the end." And he was like, "Yeah, okay," because not knowing was what was killing him.
Yep. Yeah, because the emotional toil is going to rain out in all kinds of really bad ways. You know, we all know that things happen. People become addicts. They hide from their stuff.
Yeah.
They commit suicide. You know, this is still an ongoing story in terms of families and how that will pan out.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thanks you guys for hanging around and listening and contributing and everything that you do in the background that I don't even know about. God bless you guys so much. Thank you, Seamus.
Gosh, thank you. Thank you for being such a good friend, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
I got nothing on you, buddy. You're like amazing.
No.
Amazing. God bless you.
Just a great team.
Yep.
That's all. I know you'd be good.
You're fucking right, man. Absolutely. Okay, well, take care and God bless. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.